A very good evening and a warm welcome along to Headingley for coverage of Yorkshire's 9th game in this Vens Vitality Blast competition this season. Worcestershire, their opponents. I'm Michael McCann, delighted to be joined by Aaron Vowles, with later on Maruf Khan and Ben Cliff also part of our commentary team for this one. It is pretty much a must win because of the position that Yorkshire have put themselves in the table. It is down to a point where the margin for error is extremely slim. 6 wins from 6 would pretty much guarantee a quarter-final spot. 5 wins from 6 would give Yorkshire a fighting chance. 4 wins from 6 would mean that Yorkshire would need an improbable sequence of events elsewhere. So a night with plenty at stake, Aaron Vowles.
It certainly is, yep. Massive game for both of these counties, and it is a little bit chilly, isn't it, to be honest? The sun has dipped away. We've got plenty of cloud conditions and overheads at the moment, and there is a threat of rain as well. I've just had a look at the radar, and a little bit later on there is a big blanket of cloud overpassing Headingley, so we hope that there's no interruptions, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. A big game though for both of these two sides.
Yeah, umpires just going through the briefing with the two captains. We were at one point worried about potentially having a delayed toss and a delayed start, but the showers that have been around right now have not quite been enough to cause that. There's some concerning forecasts coming down the line, so I wouldn't be too surprised, given the way the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method works, if both of these sides fancy putting themselves in that chasing position.
Yep, to be honest, I completely agree. It's the modern way, isn't it, when it comes to that Duckworth-Lewis-Stern. A lot of teams want to chase, they want to know exactly what target, and depending on how many overs get reduced, it tends to be a little bit of an easier equation depending on how you're bowled. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but should be in for a pretty good game here.
Let's get down pitch side to our man who will bring all the news from the toss, the one and only Witcher Graves.
Welcome down to the middle, where thankfully the weather is holding off at the moment. Despite the forecast, it's dry out here. Alongside me I've got the two skippers, Brett D'Oliveira for the Worcestershire Rapids, David Milan for Yorkshire. David, you've got the coin, away you go. Tails is the call from Brett D'Oliveira. It is a tail. Brett, come on in. What have you decided to do?
We're going to have a ball first.
How difficult is it to make that decision in these conditions when you know the forecast is fairly inclement?
Yeah, really tough. Obviously, I think the stats suggest batting first is really strongly suited as well. So I think with the weather around, we decided to have a ball first.
Go well. David, in you come. Would you like to have a bowl first in these conditions?
Yeah, definitely. I think with the weather around, you always want to bowl first.
There we go. We'll get technology working.
Yeah, we would have had a bowl first with the weather. But yeah, if we do what we do well, then who knows what can happen.
What's the team news coming into tonight?
Got a few injuries, a few guys missing out. Lively's missing tonight, and so is Hilly. So Moriarty missing out, Matthew Milne's back in. I think I've got the right Revis back in as well. So there's been a few changes so far.
Absolutely. How important is it for you and this team to finish the group stage well?
Yeah, brilliant. I think we're still in with a shout. If we actually play some good cricket, we probably haven't been at the best and as best as we want to be. So if we can do well in these next 5 or 6 games that we've got left, or 6 games that we've got left, then hopefully we're still pushing for that quarter-final spot.
Go well tonight, we certainly hope so. So that is the news from the middle, where the visitors, the Worcestershire Rapids, have won the toss. They will bowl first here tonight.
So unsurprisingly, conditions and predicted conditions very much affecting what we've just seen, because on the whole the stats will tell you that Headingley tends to be a bat first ground. If you look at the 30 home group games we've had in the Blast since 2021, on average, almost 70% of those games have been won by the side batting first. But DLS and the potential rain factor changing that equation. We can have a look at the Vitality Men's Blast table so far, which confirms the tough spot that Yorkshire find themselves in. 2 wins from 8 then. Tonight, a victory against the Worcestershire Rapids, combined with it being of a sizable nature to overturn that net run rate deficit, would take Yorkshire up into 7th and keep them somewhat up pace with that pack that are forming ahead of them. Remember, the top 4 go through 14 games across it. Your thoughts on that table, Aaron?
Yeah, it's must win, isn't it? Jordan Thompson mentioned it in the pre-match comments, but 6 games remaining. Yorkshire realistically have to win at least 5 if they are to overturn this and get into the post-season as such in that top 4 and reach the quarter-finals. The one concern is that net run rate, minus 0.545. It is quite a hefty one to overcome, but then again you look at sides above, the Notts Outlaws, minus 0.57, Leicestershire as well, minus 0.275. So it will take an element of luck if Yorkshire were to win 5 of the 6. In an ideal world, it'd be 6 out of 6 and you book your place, because in the Vitality T20 Blast, if you get 8 victories, you tend to go through in the top 4.
Yeah, neatly summarised. In terms of the teams, we have the Yorkshire side that, as David Milan alluded to, has got a few enforced changes through injury. Adam Live and George Hill are both out due to that. We don't know exactly how the top order will look, but we predict it will be something along the lines of this. David Milan, Will Luxton, Jonny Bairstow, James Wharton, Will Sutherland, who's recently got back to bowling. Matthew Revis, of course, was the star of that Red Bull victory against Essex. Jordan Thompson, Dominic Bess. Matthew Milnes is back into the side, having had a period out after playing very impressively here in the win against Leicestershire. Jaffa Chauhan and Will O'Rourke. So from the matchday squad of 12, it is Moriarty who misses out, Dan Moriarty. So we reckon as well that's maybe just alluding a little bit to the pitch and general conditions.
Potentially, yeah. I think that's sensible, to be honest, here at Headingley. And of course with Matt Revis you get the additional factor of his batting, and he's in great form, isn't he? You look at the Red Bull campaign, he's just come off the back of an outstanding 150. So yeah, I think in terms of the lineup, it's a shame that certain players are injured, especially Adam Lythe. We always like to see his talent expressed here at Headingley, but in terms of that starting 11, I think it's pretty much what we expected from the White Rose this evening.
Yeah, 2 changes from Yorkshire's side that played in their last T20 game. That was a loss against Durham, what feels like a long time ago because of the intense period of fixtures we're in. It was back on the 20th of June, a loss by 63 runs. Live and Jack White are the 2 to not play from that one. White, of course, he starred in that Red Bull win against Essex, and the 2 coming in for them being Matthew Revis. And then, of course, this is also Will O'Rourke's final home game. Turning our attention to the visitors, it is Brett D'Oliveira, Isak Mohammed, Kashif Ali, Adam Hose, Ethan Brooks, Gareth Roderick, Ben Dwarshus, a very good, shrewd overseas acquisition. That Matthew Waite, of course, ex-Yorkshire, and will be well known to Yorkshire fans. And then Ty Taylor and Fateh Singh. Who do you reckon are the danger men from that stand out?
Well, first and foremost, it's Adam Hose, who won't be captaining tonight because Brett D'Oliveira has returned from injury, but he is the Rapids' leading run scorer. So destructive, and these boundaries at Headingley are massive, and he always tends to score out towards the mid-wicket. So if you're in those positions around the ground, I think you'd better watch out, because he is an absolutely outstanding, destructive hitter of the cricket ball. And the other one for me is Isak Mohammed as well. He's only played 2 matches so far this season. He's made a real impression up the top of the order. Again, very hard hitting, loves to hit down the ground and send the ball true. So for me, I've gone very batting heavy, but I'm going to go with Isak Mohammed and Adam Hose.
Forgot to mention as well Ben Allison at the bottom of the card there, who will be a handy part of this Worcestershire Rapids side. So 2 changes for Yorkshire from their last T20 team, with Matt Milnes coming in, Adam Lythe making way. There'll be a rearrangement at the top of the order, and Matthew Revis looking to carry his Red Bull form into the T20 stuff. And well, it's one of those juggling of format situations as well that will be fascinating to keep an eye on through the season. Tough for these players in terms of switching between blocks. We've just had 2 Red Bull Kookaburra games, and that Essex game only ended a couple of days ago. But speaking of that Essex game, what a game it was for Yorkshire. 2nd county championship win of the season. They went above Yorkshire head coach Anthony McGrath's former club with a win by 10 wickets, powered in particular by a magnificent 9th wicket partnership from Matthew Revis and Ben Coate. Let's have a look back at the highlights of day 3 and 4 of what was a very good victory for the White Rose.
Not a lot of bounce and carry, as we've seen, as Bairstow's going to get the first runs of the day. 4, one hand off the bat, and got it away backward of point. Too much width from Khalil.
On his back, he comes in round the wicket. This is cut beautifully. It's short and it's wide, and Bairstow has given it the treatment. And
5 half centuries, but he's not yet had a ton, and he's picked that one up very nicely off his legs. Disappears quickly down to our left.
Air Khalil Ahmed driven into the offside, pierces the gap square in between backward point and cover, and it runs away for 4 towards the impressive cricket nets. Ahmed again is a bouncer, a similar shot, and he's nicked it. Similar shot.
Simon Harmer on this occasion, because he's set that field and he's obviously thrown that one too wide.
The second ball, this brand new van, this one pulled by Lyth and pulled to the boundary, in fact, dispatched towards the hospitality members who sat up there.
And it's Revis on strike. Noah Thane to continue from the rugby ground and plays that softly outside edge, runs away to the boundary. He might pick up 4 runs. There's a chase on, the ball wins.
Courtesy of, I'll mention that in a minute, Revis stands tall, powerfully drives on the up. That's a lovely shot. Maybe had a bit of ball with width.
Comes in, and this next ball again.
Oh,
pushed down, and has he got a nick on that? Yeah, he's got a nick, and it's gone through to the slip cordon.
Yeah, no keeper.
Here's Khalil Ahmed, and 4 runs to Matthew Revis, who opens the face and gave that some meat and 2 veg today.
Slater in, there's an LBW shout, and he's been given. The ball's cannoned off and gone towards the slips and keeper, but that looked quite full. He's not, I think we'll have to have a look to see if he's missed the wrong line. Played together at Renegades, and there's a nick, and it's gone down for 4. It's avoided second slip, and I think that is Harmer diving.
LBW, unfortunately, to Snater without scoring, as Revis has to get right down on that and push it to Wesley at mid-off to complete the session. Then lunch will be taken on day 3.
Revis standing tall at the crease. Snater is in, and a flash of the blade from Revis cuts that away, and that will be 4 runs. Lovely shot.
There's that shot again. Ahmed starts a new over. It's that same shot. Short, wide, off stump. Snater. Whipped into the leg side. Now this will go for 4. He's got a good bat on that. Timed it nicely.
Number 1 in the bag for Yorkshire at 255 for 6. And the next shouts from Harmer, and he's been given by the umpire. And that is the end for...
When he's batting. Snater again. Oh, smacked away. There's that. Beautiful. Oh, short and wide. Help yourself. 50. Well played.
Well.
Snater again. Oh,
Edge.
Nick.
Edge, but fell short.
Oh, do you reckon it did? I think.
Or did it? Is it no,
it's tight at second slip. He's gone for 4.
It's gone for 4. Yes, Simon Harmer past the umpire. Short run up, of course. Spinner comes in. This one again is pulled this time, and it's pulled towards the boundary, and it's going to get to the boundary as well. 4 more runs.
As Slater comes in down the leg side, and it's well taken. They're looking, they've gone up for it. I think he's been strangled down the leg side as the Yorkshire batter, and he's going to have to go. The umpire gave him out pretty quickly, Bumble, but very nice here. This is short, played off the back foot. It's going to run away for 4. That's actually a very good shot, timed beautifully. Played it on the length. I should imagine Harmer will kick himself for the delivery. It's beneath us, watching the cricket. This is lapped. That's lapped for 4. He's played that very well. He's played it down. He's made a very good connection, got his front foot slightly out the way.
Yesterday, and didn't manage to get this back out on air. That's wide of off stump. It's not a great delivery from Ahmed. Here's Ahmed round the wicket. Oh, Ben Code, look at this. Put that one in the diary, folks, because Ben Code's pulled one through mid-wicket. Short delivery.
Realigns, slip in place. That's lofted. Over mid-on, straight down the ground. In fact, it's over mid-off.
Harmer over the wicket. Code goes over the top and all the way for 6. Down towards the secret garden. Yeah, go on.
Vacate.
5 minutes before you were due to go anyway, so we'll say thanks to Jamie for now. We're back on to the other side of tee. We've been coming here for 7 years now. Not yet found out. Nothing. Ben Coates got underneath this one. And he's nailed that for 6 over long off. Well played, sir. 48 to him.
Medium pace staying. Short ball pulled into mid-wicket. It's getting lively, the crowd now. There's an excellent knock, is that, from Ben Code. In at number 10. His team in a tricky position. A quick session as this in the afternoon.
Critchley again. Code. Outside edge of the bat. Runs down to Ahmed. End of the session. They've got through till the end. Revis on strike. Snater in. And there it is. Matthew Revis runs a ball through third man, bobbling over the rope now. Punches the air. A third first-class 100 for Matthew Revis. I said it before and I'll say it again. This, I think, is the best I've seen him play. Okay, Snater to Revis, to Code, I should say. Short ball and pulled all the way for a half dozen through mid-wicket.
He's on strike now. Oh, and he's bowled him. And a grimace from Code as he turns away. Critchley's got through.
He's 40 runs further on here, so he's not going to miss out on a ton, and he's lofted that one. That's a superb shot. Pick that up off his legs.
On the boundary edge, 8 on the boundary edge for Essex, staying in.
Picked up again by Revis and gone the same way, disappearing over into the River Ouse nearly. That's gone for 6 and a lot further than the first one when he does, as Thane comes in again. Revis this time elbow up to long on to get to 150 for the first time in first class cricket. Outstanding, Matthew Revis. Absolutely outstanding.
Actually, in again, a little bit quicker. This is short, an attempted pull, and it's been caught on the boundary by tall Paul Water at deep mid-wicket.
I know the final because in comes the Code, and this one an appeal, and he's been given early breakthrough here. Ben Code takes the wicket after his 89. He struck early for Yorkshire, and he's got the valuable wickets of Paul Walter.
Left-handed Dean Elgar. Elgar comes forward, he clips it off his legs all the way down to fine leg. It's beaten the man at fine leg and gone for 4s.
Yeah, Code comes in. And this next delivery again. Oh, off the bat, and it's been taken by Bairstow off the bat. Ball going down leg side, and I think it just flicked the strangled down the leg side into the gloves of Jonny Bairstow. Chat White to complete his over, and this one again pushed just past the bat, and in fact it's gone to the boundary. Third man, through the third man area.
Just like I'd mentioned earlier, the best he feels that he's seen Matthew Revis play as Elgar opens the face. He might well get 4 for this, wide of off stump, just running it into the gap. If you're watching it, you'll know what it was. Oh, it bowled him! It's bowled him. George Hill has bowled Dean Elgar. It looks as though it might be the leg stump from this angle that's been knocked back. Beauty.
Best fly to delivery, and Cox is driving. Found the edge. That will run away to the boundary for 4 runs. A shot that he didn't play in complete control.
Comes in again. This time Simon Harmer does get bat on ball, and that will be a single off the final ball of the day. Helmets removed, applause all around. Code in again. Oh, Harmer, has he got him here? He's gone. Simon Harmer gone, caught by Abdullah Shafiq out at gully. I didn't know if it had carried or not from this angle, but it has. If they go off Another hold up as Cox plays nicely here through the moisture out through the covers. Magnificent.
White in, he's hit the pad, he's trapped him, LB. Yorkshire have got their 5th wicket. Jack White with their 2nd scalp this morning, piling on the pressure for Essex. Is in. Oh, and he's bowled him off stump out of the ground, cartwheeling. Yorkshire have got Essex 6 down. Charlie Allison has gone for 2.
To bowl to Jordan Cox, who goes across, back and across, and plays to mid-on for Revis to field.
We're back underway here. That shower has passed, and Ben Code is able to complete the 2nd delivery of his over, making that ball work, making it talk, and that looks like an outside edge that's streakily run down to 3rd for 4 runs to the bat of Jordan Cox. Delays as Cox flashes a blade at that ball, shorter length delivery, wide outside off stump. It flies over the slip cordon and away for 4 more runs. So
Reed paper mills or something.
As Code is in, it's a full length delivery, and that is a glorious shot.
There are no boundary boards, and this is a thick outside edge that runs along the floor. It avoids the slip cordon, and it goes for 4 at 3rd man. I'm going to say well played, Michael Pepper.
Sibley with a triple century. That's a good shot from Jordan Cox. Slightly short, slightly wide from George Hill, and he cuts that in front of square on the offside for 4 runs.
Jack White on his way in, right arm over, this time down the leg side. That's going to run away. Was that bat or pads? It was bat off Michael Pepper down the leg side.
Here's Hill again. Pepper opens the face, runs that one out through point, and he's going to pick up 4 more here, so the deficit now down to single figures.
Yesterday afternoon, there's a nick, and it's gone through 2nd stroke 3rd slip. There's a slip in a gully. They've moved them out because Essex have become a little more comfortable.
And you'd think that things will dry up quite quickly there as Pepper slashes one there through 3rd man for 4. Just too much width.
Revis is in, bowls. This is driven and played with a open face bat into the available area, and he will collect. There should be a double applause. One, it's for Jordan Cox's 50, and he raises his bat and acknowledges the crowd, and then we've lost Cook for to be rested.
Yep, here's Sutherland to Cox, and he's got it away wide of the cordon, and he's got it away for 4 through 3rd man. The diving attempt was by James Wharton, couldn't quite get there. They started doing those sort of analysis.
Full length delivery. Now he's gone to drive at that, and Cox has got the wicket. Revis has got him, Cox has gone, and that is a huge wicket for Yorkshire in the context of this game and in their bid for victory. Overcast, breezy, rain, sunshine, caught behind. Jack White has his 3rd wicket, and it's the crucial one again of Michael Pepper.
I'm going to tell you a story from a few years ago as Code comes in. This is cut down to available 3rd man, where it's going to run away towards the corporate tents, where there are nobody in them for corporate reasons, with his proudly wearing his Yorkshire 2's cap, and this has been bowled. A ball that's gone through. Did it keep low, or was it slightly quicker? The 4-day surface hasn't broken up.
White into Snater, comes down the wicket, shows aggression. 1 bounce 4 as he lofts that over the bowler's head.
He's coming into bowl now. Got him! That is the end of the Essex innings for 131. Khalil Ahmed having taken that single in the previous over. Jordan Cox in the covers plus a point. Snater's in again, and it's Point who comes into play here. That is Charlie Allison with a tumbling stop. That's not going to stop Adam Lyth getting through for the first run, so 40 needed. And already Middlesex, of course, won by an innings against Leicestershire.
Shakil Ahmed bowls. This has gone up in the air. It's a top edge as he's swivelling around to play it, and I think he's been quite fortuitous there, helping his in swinger or away swinger to the left-hander. This is cut. There's a little bit of width. That's a good shot. He's used the pace as Adam Lyth. One phenomenal season. This is cut square. It's beat it backward point, run away for 4, and they help Veggies and Flowers That's a good shot. Short, he was waiting for it. And Finley Bean on his home surface here at York Cricket Club.
From here on the balcony, as Thane comes in round the wicket. Live pulls aerially, 1 bounce and 4. He moves on to 12, Yorkshire on to 36. Is that Adam Lyth? Will it go for the boundary to finish things off? No, not quite. It's been reeled in, so they'll finish on 42 without loss. A 10-wicket win for Yorkshire.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to have a little extra money for your holiday? If you buy any used car from the 4th to the 14th of July, we'll give you an extra £500 over and above the amazing deal you'll already get. And if you part exchange by selling us your car too, we'll give you another £500, making a total of £1,000, which is a lot of ice creams, suitcases, beach toys for the dog, or a nicer car to go on holiday in. Ends July the 14th. We are Vertu.
So Yorkshire versus Worcestershire is now less than 5 minutes underway from being underway, and no doubt one key man who's swapped the whites from leading Yorkshire to victory at York in the footage you've just seen against Essex to what is his first blast home appearance at Headingley in more than 4 years, since the 15th of June 2021, is a certain Jonathan Mark Bairstow. What a player to have in your lineup, eh?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the CV speaks for itself, doesn't it, with Jonny Bairstow, England international, icon of county cricket and franchise cricket all around the world, and this is a big game for him at his home ground here at Headingley. We've seen him already on 2 occasions so far in the 2025 T20 Blast. He's only scored 23 runs, though, in those previous 2 appearances, so he'll be...
Though, that last blast game at Headingley for Yorkshire on the 15th of June 2021, Bairstow made 82 off just 48 and Yorkshire won by 18. So home fans will be hoping that that is something of an omen, and it really is a privilege for Yorkshire fans to see Jonny Bairstow in action in a blast game, because he played 1 in 2023, he played 4 back in 2021 when he scored a massive 295 runs in just 4 innings, and that is all the appearances he'd made across 8 seasons, 5 blast appearances in 8 seasons until the start of this season, where he's obviously come in for the double-header against Durham, where, as you alluded to, he's only contributed 23 runs that Headingley's known for. You sense it's only a matter of time, and tonight could be his night.
It could be, yeah, and we all know what Jonny Bairstow is capable of. If he's in the mood, if he's in his groove and the rhythm, you just know the ball is getting peppered to all parts of the ground. So this is a big game tonight, of course, for both of these two sides, and it's the kind of encounter where you need your massive players to step up. So let's wait and see what Jonny has in store for us. But yeah, in terms of having him in this Yorkshire team, it is a massive, massive boost for the White Rose.
But we call it 2 to watch for a reason, of course, as well, because there's also, on the other side of things, later on for Yorkshire, Will O'Rourke in what is his last home T20 group stage appearance. He will play in the match against Derbyshire at Chesterfield on Sunday, and then that will be his stint for now.
Where you need your massive players to step up. So let's wait and see what Jonny has in store for us. But
he's a
New Zealand having him in this Yorkshire team, it is a massive, massive boost for the White Rose.
And we call it 2 to watch for a reason, of course, as well, because there's also on the other side of things Nottinghamshire for Yorkshire. Will didn't play that game against Essex at York. So what you've got tonight is a T20 group stage appearance. He will play in the match against Derbyshire at Chesterfield on Sunday, and then that will be his stint for now. A few extra miles an hour on the speed gun that normally is already clicking so much already when he's charging.
Well, let's hope so, because he's electric, isn't he? Will O'Rourke, we know exactly what he's doing as well, because there's around the shoulder area, keeps the opposition batters on their toes. So yeah, let's hope that it has the desired impact, and Will O'Rourke is firing on all cylinders tonight. This is, again, a huge game. It comes back to that almost I spoke about Bairstow. You want big players. He's an overseas player. These are the kind of games which you almost earn your reputation of being cricket. If Yorkshire win tonight, get on a little bit of a winning streak, get back into contention, round those top four places. People think of you very, very highly indeed. So I think we're working on these big games tonight.
So Bairstow has gone a match over in the absence of the injured Adam Light. He's got a little target hamstring complaint. So it is Jonny Bairstow who is ready to face up to the first ball of this contest. Howard stand there in the power play, deep square and a deep Tom Taylor, whose career best came against Yorkshire at Headingley a couple of years ago, wreaked havoc in taking 5 for 28. The ball will nibble about a little bit. There's an awkward breeze out there, a bit of a cross breeze that could make high catches challenging tonight as well. And there's a marginally concerning rain forecast, but for now it's not raining. Short and pulled away nicely by Bairstow, who's into his working style, picked up the length very quickly, and all deep square leg was going to do was trot around to fetch it. Boundary off the second.
Well, that is a signal of incentive if ever you've seen one from Jonny Bairstow. It's not the right length to bowl to him at this stage of the innings. Of course, he likes to score those early boundaries, really put the pressure back on the opposition bowlers, and that isn't what Tom Taylor's usually known for in the power play. He likes to get a lot of lateral movement, tail it back into the right-handers. Just bowled that one a little bit too much back of a length.
Fuller, this is so often the adjustment you see after a ball and a shot like that, and it's a nice response from Taylor. We know that Headingley generally is a ground optimised for run scoring. The average first innings total here across 30 home group games in the T20 Blast since the start of 2021 is hovering at around the high 180s. The average winning score is comfortably above 200. Down the ground, he's completely mistimed this, and he's gone. Jonny Bairstow is out to just the fourth ball of the game. A big, big wicket for Tom Taylor. A simple catch. Bairstow looked like he was trying to maybe flat bat this down the ground. He got in all sorts of a tangle with his timing, and having gone up to open the batting in his first T20 Blast game for Yorkshire at Headingley in more than 4 years, it's an unfortunate early departure for one of Yorkshire's finest.
Yep, the home side 4 for 1, and that is a great response, isn't it, from Tom Taylor. Got peppered on that second ball out towards the deep backward square boundary, comes back with a slightly fuller delivery on that occasion. In terms of the length, it wasn't quite there to be pulled, and Bairstow ultimately falling for the trap. It's a simple catch in the end, and I'll tell you what, that is a great confidence boost for Worcestershire. So Yorkshire lose their first. It's the huge wicket of Jonny Bairstow, and as a result, Will Luxton will come in at number 3. But this is the advantage that Yorkshire have. Plenty of batting here tonight. We saw a look at the starting 11 in all the way down to the likes of Revist on best can bat as well. Will Sutherland, of course, has had some excellent knocks here at Headingley in 2025. So not the ideal start, but also not the nightmare scenario for such a deep batting lineup.
Luxton starts with a nice looking square drive, a classical shot, gets a comfortable 2. Ethan Brooks does the fielding. Luxton does already have a 50 in the Blast here at Headingley this season. Bit of a coming of age innings that was. 62 off 34, his first T20 50 in a big stand with David Milan in that win against Worcestershire, but as those stats reflect, hasn't quite matched the heights of that excellent innings necessarily across some of his other innings in the competition. Luxton will get more runs here. Fast outfield, he might well get 4. Instead, it's a nice sliding stop from Brooks. And that again was, although actually it didn't quite go across the practice pitches, demonstrated the value that this outfield gives you. We saw it in the men's test match recently as well. Square of the wicket, the oval Surrey's ground is the only other one that's really noticeable for this across the UK. The ball absolutely flies because of it being practice pitches either side.
Yeah, it does, and that is a characteristic, isn't it? It's a hallmark of this Headingley surface, and I'll tell you what, that was a very entertaining first over. Goes for 8 runs, and on that last one you could just see that lateral movement from Tom Taylor. Didn't quite get the line that he was hoping for, but yeah, in the end, a pretty decent start this for the Rapids. And from the Kirkstall Lane end, we'll see Ben Allison for the first time in a Worcestershire shirt on, well, T20 debut for the Rapids. Of course, has played many a first-class game since making the move from Essex. Has also played in the Metrobank One Day Cup, but he's been brought in almost as a little bit of last-minute cover for Khurram Shahzad.
Yeah, this is a fascinating one, because until about 20 minutes or so before the first ball, he wouldn't have been expecting to play Allison, but now here he is. And he starts with a very nice ball back of a length, and it's good cricket all round because Milan just nudges that for one, and Luxton is alert to the possibility of a single. It was really, ultimately, meant to be Khurram Shahzad who was playing, and the way you could tell that, even if, unlike us, you weren't aware of the fact that he'd also picked up an injury, was the fact that Shahzad was down as number 11 and then crossed out. Milan is going to be key for Yorkshire, even more so after that early loss of Bairstow. He's the second highest run scorer in the entire competition, and he is the highest run scorer in the Vitality T20 Blast North group so far this season. So that's just turned away by Luxton for one more, and most of those runs for Milan have actually come in a run of 4 consecutive games, where he made 69 not out against Warwickshire, 88 against Leicestershire, 58 against Nottinghamshire, and then 65 against Warwickshire. So he's just looking to get back to that. Got a golden duck and then 21 in the 2 games against Durham. Slip has come out and is going to short mid-wicket. So it means the field changes from a 6-3 to a 5-4 now for Milan. Just guiding that away for single, still settling into his work.
Nice start this, isn't it, from Ben Allison, just cramping the 2 Yorkshire top order bats for room, not allowing them to open up the arms. We know that's something which Dawid Malan is very capable of. Loves to flail the ball through the covers and out towards deep point, but so far it's been very tight and very disciplined, this from the Rapids opening bowler.
Worcestershire, if you're late to this one, winning the toss and choosing to bowl. Steps away to make room, and then Allison tried to fire it in down leg and overcompensated. First wide of the contest.
Yeah, that's something we see all the time, isn't it? It's the classic case of the bowler sees the batter trying to utilise that footwork, open up that space, and you just follow them. And yeah, it's slightly unfortunate for the bowler because it's the right thing to do. It's just on that occasion strays too far down the leg side and was always going to be given as a wide.
Through the covers from Luxton, and again you're seeing the value for money you get on this Headingley outfield, because it will tease the fielder but will go to the rope. Second boundary of the innings for Yorkshire, and a first of his knock for Will Luxton.
Yeah, lightning-like outfield, isn't it, here at Headingley? And just in terms of the actual placement of the shot, it's beautiful, isn't it? Just bisects the gap between the 2 fielders on the offside. Ishaq Mohammed, he's a fast lad, and even he can't catch up to that. So a very nicely placed and well-timed check drive that from Will Luxton.
Steps away again. This is straight at cover. This is something to watch with Luxton. So on average, roughly 1 in every 10 balls against seam or elite pace, he backs away, which is far higher on average than most players. It's something that he likes to do quite often. We've seen him do it a couple of times already in that over. So it creates that little bit of a game of cat and mouse. In fact, I beg your pardon, he's done it 3 times this over. He did it to the wide, and he did it in that previous ball, and the shot through the covers for 4. Does it again here, and that's a great response from Allison. There's no fear to quite like a fast bowler bowling a good bumper, and that certainly was a good bumper. So a fascinating over of battle between bat and ball. At the end of the second, it is 16 for 1. Yorkshire looking to recover from the early loss of Bairstow. We're delighted to say up here we've got the company of someone who is the perfect person to summarise us through a majority of the action tonight. Has one of the best cricketing CVs I've seen of anyone. Maruf Khan, once upon a time an overseas professional in North Yorkshire, has represented India at a Masters Indoor World Cup and was part of the Yorkshire men's coaching team in recent seasons as well. A very good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Taylor's new over starts were being driven through the covers for 1. Shy, but even with a direct hit would have been perfectly fine. And now, of course, you're a scout in the ECB Women's Pathway, and you're the number 2 for the England mixed disability side. So it's fair to say you're a man who's very good at juggling things, and you're spinning a lot of plates at the same time.
Well, I try. Let's put it that way. I think most importantly is that I love the game. It's always good to play it for that level and then give it back.
This has gone very, very, very high. And it's taken... Oh, it's dropped. Well, it was in both hands for a moment. The wind certainly played its part and assisted there for Yorkshire. That would have been a really good catch.
Yeah, looks like the batters are not sure what the wicket is doing. It is stopping on them from the first looks of it, which is not allowing players to get on in the ball. But yeah, player came on it and then dropped it.
Well, it's
good for Yorkshire.
It's that classic impact of the elbows on the ground that has ultimately given Luxton a life. So Luxton is dropped on 8 in the 3rd over. Milan just works that away for a single. These two, of course, already alluded to it, shared a big partnership earlier on in this blast season. They put on 132 off 69 balls in the win against Leicestershire on the double-header day when both sides picked up much-needed victories. And there is another double-header coming around the corner on the 13th of July. The women play the Northamptonshire Steelbacks here at Headingley, and then the men face the Derbyshire Falcons. Whipped away, could well be 6. It certainly is, just about gets there. So that's a lovely bit of timing from Luxton, targeting that slightly shorter boundary. And I also think when he goes that way, he's hitting with the wind, and that's what's helped carry it away for a maximum.
Great shot by Luxton. I think he's playing into the minds of the bowlers as well. Backs away a couple of times, and the bowlers try to follow them, and that's right into his Will Luxton's arc. Great shot, great pickup.
I must say, I am a touch confused because I think I've just seen a signal there from the deep square leg fielder making the T sign as if he's wanting that to be reviewed when it seemed pretty clearly to be over the line for 6. Slightly dicey looking quick single, but the pickup wasn't clean. Well, the fact that Luxton got the full length dive out tells you everything you need to know about whether that single was a little on the dicey side.
Look to his field. Will is looking to get things going, and rightly so. Malan having a chat with him as well, asking him to just stay back a bit. Game looks to be nicely poised. Yorkshire getting some momentum here, which is great. Always good to see how Mala responds to this ball coming up next.
And this time driving through one of his more favoured areas. He does tend to be the type of player, so that's the end of the 3rd over, 26 for 1, good over for Yorkshire, taking 10 from it. He does tend to be the type of player, famous last words, watch him go and make me look very silly in the next 10-15 minutes, but the statistics will tell you someone that takes a little bit of time to build into his innings, and then what he's known for doing, and we've seen this at international level as well, is he then accelerates at a ruthlessly quick pace that catches him up. So it's not really a surprise to see that Milan here is quite content to kind of play second fiddle to Luxton in the power play at this moment.
And that's what works in Malan's favour as well. He likes to see what the pace of the wicket is, what he needs to do, and he's more like a traditional kind of a player who takes his time but goes big.
Change of bowling at our end, pavilion end, and very first ball from Dwarshus is absolutely middled by Luxton out to extra cover. He throws his head up to the heavens as if to say, I'm not sure I'm going to time too many better this season that I don't get any runs for.
Well, Luxton would have been disappointed with that ball. Should have been out of the park, really. Right in the slot, straight to the fielder.
He hasn't gone up and over at all in this innings yet, Luxton. A lot of traditional classical cricket shots. As that's down leg. Well, Dwarshus thinks he's got him. Umpire says not out and no wide. So clearly it's maybe just flicked off the pad or the thigh pad. It's definitely a deflection of something, but that wasn't quite timed right.
Comes from the thigh pad, really. Great hands by the wicket keeper. Saved 4 runs for sure.
No hot spot, but those angles seem to confirm that that was not really near. Steps away and absolutely smokes that through the covers for 6. What a shot from Will Luxton. I mentioned that he loves backing away against the quick bowling. Well, there's a perfect example.
Great batting, Will. Look at the way he's given room, hands to the ball, fast hands, head on top of it, great striking. Good shot, that.
So one thing I meant to I mentioned earlier that on average he backs away 1 in 10 against quicker bowling in the power play. He backs away again. That's a really good bouncer from Dwarshus. That's how you respond to that. So it's 1 in 10 overall with Luxton backing away against bowling that's categorised as fast, medium or faster. But in the power play, that actually shortens to about 1 in just over 7 to 8. And we've seen a fair bit of that tonight as well. It's something that a lot of, particularly the modern younger generation, are very comfortable with doing. Luxton will get 1 through the covers, slight misfield, and they are going to come back. And that's good running. Even with a direct hit, would have made it home pretty comfortably. So the orchestra right now very much has Will Luxton in first violin and David Milan quite happily in second. But the most important thing for Yorkshire is after that loss of Bairstow, they're rebuilding well. Full and absolutely walloped down the ground. That was in the slot and Luxton was happy to oblige. It's not the best delivery from a top-class experienced overseas like Dwarshus, but all credit to Luxton for putting it away in style.
Bit of change of pace there. Dwarshus thought, maybe he's bowled a short ball, he's bowled a few on the slot as well. He thought he'd go with change of pace and see if that can trouble Will Luxton. The way Will's batting at the moment, everything in the arc is trying to go over the park anyway. So I think great spirit shown by Will Luxton, and long it may continue.
Change of bowling from the Howard stand end. It's a change of ends for Allison as well. We were asking you where you were watching from. Liman Hassan is watching from Bangladesh. Ian Ali is watching from the beautiful Malvern Hills, about 8 miles from Worcester. I don't think it takes too much of a genius to guess who Ian might be supporting. Harry Wells is watching from Zante, says Sun, Sea and Sixes. Risham Nadeem is watching in Pakistan. Milan facing up. Just paddling it round the corner, and that will be 4. Very clever from David Milan, just using the pace of Allison against him. And Yorkshire's T20 captain gets his first 4 of the night.
Yeah, the experience of Milan, that right there. Bowler tried to follow him, just got it along. Great shot towards fine leg. And that's going to help Will as well. Milan staying with him. Great shot that. Good footwork. Waited for the ball to come onto his body and just glided it for 4.
So question of how Allison responds. He's still got a deep square leg and deep backward point. Short pulled away by Milan. He's picked out deep square leg. Who's taken it? Well, there was so much vacant real estate to aim for out there, but Milan could not have picked out the sweeper better had he tried. And Yorkshire's captain, the highest run scorer in the North Group of the Blast this season, has to depart for just 8.
Yeah, good thinking by Worcester there. They changed. Yeah, the ball just stopped a bit on him, really. Couldn't get his hands over it. Could not finish the shot. Picked the one fielder that was there. Good cricket all round. Not good for Yorkshire at the moment.
One thing I just wonder with both those Milan and Bairstow dismissals is whether the way in which those balls have been mistimed suggests that this pitch is one that maybe it's the fact that it's been undercover for a lot of today. There has been a sprinkling of showers around that the pitch maybe has just a little bit in it.
Yeah, and I think it's stopping and coming as well. It's not the usual Headingley wicket where it comes onto the bat. I don't think this is a hybrid wicket as well. It's a turf wicket, so Yorker might have to be a little more careful and give themselves a bit more time on the shots and making sure that they're taking this game deep.
So now it's 2 of their own for Yorkshire. Have got to rebuild in Luxton and Wharton, 2 great mates who come through the pathways together. Wharton first up will get 1, but it's a leg bye. Great to see so many watching from around the world. James Carroll in Philadelphia, USA. Mickey is in Graz in Vienna. And also viewers in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. And Angus Tarode is in Paris. Got plenty of Worcestershire supporters and Yorkshire supporters as well as you neutrals. Great to have all of your companies on this Vertu live stream. Luxton looking good for his 29. Yorkshire need him to keep going. And he's keeping going there. Whipped away. Not the best delivery from Allison, but beautiful fast hands. And then the breaking of wrists on contact from Luxton gives him 4 more.
Yeah, very free-flowing player. Waits for the ball to come onto him. A bit of a slow one, off-cutter coming through. Luxton giving himself time. Knows there's nobody above the 30-yard circle. Clean shot that.
Well, Luxton right now has got 33 of Yorkshire's 47. So as things stand, he's scored 71% of the runs in the innings. That gives you an idea of just how dependent the early part of this game has seen Yorkshire on Luxton. Nice length from Allison, and no chance of a single there.
Looks like the Worcestershire rapid bowlers have come with the plan of sticking it a little short of length towards Luxton's body, really. But that actually plays in his favour. The way he moves around the crease gives himself a lot of room. And if you follow him not careful in the 6 overs, he might get some runs off you as well.
Yeah, interesting to see if we see Luxton go back to that plan of backing away. I think there's even more chance now because we've got a ring of 5 on the offside. Allison's likely to want to cramp him for room. Allison does go straight, and it's heaved out towards that deep mid-wicket boundary. And that's good scamperage to get back for 2, quickly identifying that there was 2 there if they went at a canter. So wicket taking over for Allison. 5 overs gone, 49 for 2. Yorkshire will be disappointed to have lost Bairstow and Milan early, but they will feel a sense of contentment from the type of nick that Will Luxton looks like he's in, because it's not easy when you're switching formats, and also despite that excellent knock against Leicestershire, in more recent times in T20 Luxton hasn't quite got the runs he'd have liked. He made just 9 and 3 in the 2 recent games against Durham in this format. Oh, that's nicely bowled. Wharton will get 4. It's the tiny, tiny consolation, the moral victory, but nothing more for Worcestershire. And Wharton gets his first boundary with a bit of luck against Worcestershire.
Yeah, I think the plan is quite clear from the bowlers. Hard lengths heading towards the bodies of Yorkshire batters. Very important, a lucky shot that, but very important for the players to stick with the game plan for Worcester Rapids and more importantly Yorkshire. They are actually going at nearly 10 runs and over, just about 10.26, which is a good start and a good time now here to just have a reset of plans. Ball seems to have gone over the nets there. It's interesting.
Yeah, it needs a bit of a collective operation to get it out. One of the photographers is doing his bit of trying to nudge it out. This is the kind of scene that any club cricketer will be familiar to, and he gets a good round of applause, which is a nice touch as well. If you're just joining us on the Vertu live stream, Yorkshire sent into bat. We're in the final over of the power play. And the voice you can hear alongside me is that of Maruf Khan, who until the end of last season was a part-time coaching assistant working with this Yorkshire men's team. Part of that group, of course, under head coach Otis Gibson, that led Yorkshire back to Division 1 of the Rothesay County Championship. Back underway now. That's worked away by Wharton. He's quite likely going to get 4 here as well. Similar region of the ground, but much better timing this time. Just whips it off his pads. So back-to-back boundaries for James Wharton.
Fantastic shot there. If you see James Wharton, he is actually waiting for that length to be hit. That length is what he is very dangerous at. The way he moves around the crease, makes that length even better for him. He likes the length, that's sort of a length for him. Beautiful flick off the hips. Great shot.
And this time, I think this has come off the outside edge. I'm not sure he quite meant it to go there, but it always runs quickly in that part of the ground, one of the shorter pockets. So it's 3 4s in a row. He might be getting some fortune here in this over, James Wharton, but regardless, Yorkshire won't care. Dwarshus is under all sorts of pressure.
Modern day cricketer looks at width and goes and throws with hands completely added. Big over for Yorkshire so far. All cricket's down to third man. 3 more balls to come in this over.
Shorter, and Dwarshus manages to get a dot in against Wharton, who at the start of the season Graham Hardcastle picked out as, in his own words, someone that Yorkshire's management rate incredibly highly and believe is not miles away from England honours. Top scorer in the Blast so far this season of 58 off 29 in that incredibly high scoring game here against the Northamptonshire Steelbacks in the first match of this T20 season. Bumper, and Wharton gets nothing on it, but it's a wide. Wided on height, I believe.
Very risky that. Very brave of the bowler to bowl that ball with that kind of a feel, really. Having said that, Wharton would be disappointed he missed out on that. Any top edge could have been 6 runs or 4 for sure.
I'll be delighted to have seen those outstretched arms, though, of course. The wide making him feel a little better. Oh, Wharton's totally sliced this, and that is the dictionary definition of a top edge. It's a 1 bounce 4. Well, Wharton was looking to carve that through the onside, and it's gone through third. So 16 off the over now. 17, in fact, with the wide. 4 4s and the wide, and still 1 ball left.
I'm not sure if that's the right length for James Wharton. They are still banging on the same length, which is playing right into his arc, and the way he plays the ball and the way he frees his hands, it's perfect for him.
I tell you what, if there was runs for bat speed, he'd have got about 20 there. He was trying to absolutely muller that, Wharton. Steps away this time. It's off the inside edge for 1. So end of the power play. It is easily the most expensive over of the innings so far. It has gone for 20. And I think if you're Ben Dwarshus, you can count yourself a touch unlucky there.
Yeah, a bit of both, really. He's taking his chances, but I don't think he's set the field right for James Wharton. And I would have 1 man deep at point and deep at square leg to bowl that short, hard length. Didn't see that coming. And in that way, it's allowed Wharton to just free his arms in whatever is coming in his arc, because he knows he has to just clear the 30-yard circle, which he has done quite well. Going at 11 runs and over, Yorkshire looked to be in good, strong position after the first 6.
Yeah, it's interesting. The average power play score here at Headingley across the last 4 seasons or so hovers around 56 for 1. So Yorkshire are 13 runs higher than that, but they have lost an extra wicket. As spin immediately into the attack. Now we're out of the power play, but it's a long hop and dispatched. That's a poor ball. First up, it's a bit of a gimme from Vertu Singh, and it is gleefully helped on its way to the fence by Luxton, who is Wharton, in fact, who's really going through the gears here. Luxton has got the partner that he wanted in terms of, we've now got 2 batters who are in real rhythm here. This is dangerous times for Worcestershire. Quicker and flatter. How often do you see that from a spinner responding to being hit? And they're going to get 2. That's excellent running. That's very sensible cricket from Wharton. He knows that everybody is back on that onside, and so there's 2 in there if they can go quickly.
2 young boys playing together in the earlier ranks of Yorkshire goes to show that they didn't even need to call. They knew as soon as he hit the ball, there was 2 runs there. Good cricket.
Slower just holds this back a touch, goes over the head of backward point. Wharton was not in control of this, but it's still going to take some stopping, and it will be hauled back at the expense of 3. And to give you an idea of how quick this outfield is, that is one of the longer pockets, and also the power of Wharton, that even when not timing it, it's nearly gone for 4. We've got a 66 metre square boundary out towards the western terrace, 60 metres out towards the eastern side. It's that eastern side where Luxton is now tucking the ball out to deep backward square. No chance of a 2 that time. It's a very interesting field here from Singh. He's got deep backward square, deep mid wicket, and a long on. He's got short fine leg up. Wharton this time goes down to long on for 1. I guess what he's trying to do here is bowl relatively quick and flat and straight.
If you see the length that he's bowling, it's quite short of a length, hitting the pads as quickly as possible, really.
And again, straight, and this time they want 2. They are going to come back for the second. And again, both absolutely rapid between the wickets, Luxton and Wharton. So at the end of the 7th over, we've managed to take 11 off that without taking too many risks. So Luxton and Wharton will be really pleased. And this partnership is absolutely flying. These 2 have added 38. But speaking of partnerships, well, you might have partnerships on the field, but you get plenty of partnerships off the field. I think of the amount of times over the years that I've seen the likes of Batman, Robin, or Mario and Luigi chasing each other around the stands. Got a sight of the bananas there. Plenty of people in the YouTube live chat are talking as well about the head ground staff at Yorkshire, Richard Robinson, who's become a bit of a social media star. We'll come back to that. So that's cut out to deep cover for 1 from the first ball of the new over. Now this is partially, of course, with all of his team getting the credit they deserve for the excellent test match wicket, but more importantly it's also for his ability during a blast rain interval recently to balance a broom on his head for 2 minutes.
That must have been an interesting watch, to be honest.
As that's again out to deep cover for 1. You can file it under the sort of weird and wonderful things you get in cricket during rain delays, with various fans suggesting that this should be some sort of unofficial off-field contest where counties must nominate their best, I guess, what would you call it? A broom holder, a broom balancer. He does seem to make it look very effortless.
A bit of it on Robbo as well. He's been a good cricketer of his time as well in Yorkshire. That time he used to have long hair. Not many people can say that about it.
Yeah, I think he would be the first to joke that those days are marginally in the past now. That's why they wanted 2, and there wasn't 2 there. My goodness me, just about manages to make his ground, Luxton. It was good from a Yorkshire point of view that Wharton sent him back, because there was never quite 2. There was at most 1.5. And the way you can tell that there was at most 1.5 was that Luxton got sent back about a third of the way down and just about made it with a full-length dive. And that's definitely 1 out into the deep. These 2 will be restless quickly if there's a period of singles. They'll want to keep the tempo up. They know that Yorkshire will want a score of close to, if not more than, 200. Short hit hard down the ground, out to long on, so a single to complete what is a good tight over. Only 6 runs from it. Thanks very much to Maruf Khan for his company. We'll be hearing plenty more from him later on. Fantastic to have someone with us who has such a wide range of experience, both in the game and also in all things Yorkshire cricket. Saw a couple of people in the YouTube live chat commenting, saying that they felt like we could do with a better analogy for a batting partnership than first and second violin in the orchestra. So feel free to let us know in the comments what you think would better summarise having a partnership where one particular player is dominating the strike and dominating the scoring, and we'll read out your best ones. 8 overs gone, 86 for 2. And Aaron Viles is back alongside, having lost 2 early. Now, one of Yorkshire's own, once upon a time, is going to try and inflict some damage to the White Rose. Matthew Waite is on to bowl and starts with one from Luxton. It's kind of chopped past him on the inside edge, weirdly. Away for a single.
Yeah, this will be an interesting passage of the game, this, because Matthew Waite, even if you look at his stats so far this season, 5 wickets at 16 in 4 matches. The economy rate has been quite good, 6.31 runs per over. He's kind of garnered a little bit of a reputation at Worcestershire as a little bit of a breakthrough specialist. So, as I said, this will be interesting for Wharton and Luxon to manage this here.
Steps away, he's absolutely thumped that back, and it's hit Waite, who thankfully gets straight back to his feet and doesn't seem in too much pain. I must say there was a moment where there was a collective ooh and ah, not just in the commentary box but in the crowd here. This was hit back towards him. Well, he stopped that with a boot in his follow-through. Waite mentioned his Yorkshire roots. All-rounder from Leeds, started out at Methley CC, also spent a season at York in 2017. As he fields a game well off his own bowling, well enough to at least half stop it. Away for a single. Product of the Yorkshire Academy, made his Yorkshire debut against Sri Lanka A in 2014 and was Yorkshire's Young Player of the Year in 2016. Initially joined Worcestershire on loan as cover for Joe Leach in 2022 and then made the move permanently ahead of 2023 season. Oh, excellent from Waite, who gets that in the channel and just avoids the dreaded wide signal.
Tell you what, that is some delivery to just keep that within the tram lines. Of course, Wharton did move slightly across to try and get the bat on, but yeah, just inside that blue line. That is a terrific delivery from Matthew Waite.
And pummeled away through cow corner for 4. It's not a good ball. It gets the treatment it deserves from Wharton. And after the previous over had gone for just 6 as well, that is a boundary that just relieves a little bit of pressure that might have been building on Yorkshire.
It does. It's the cliche, isn't it? It's the action ball. After a few singles and dot balls here and there, it feels like something has to break in the over. And that is a tremendous shot, courtesy of James Wharton.
That's out to deep cover. Should only be 1. Will only be 1. End of the over. We mentioned you get all sorts of fancy dress at the cricket, and that's a perfect example. Great to see the young'uns as well in having a good time here at Headingley. Hope to see plenty of you young and old as well along for the double header here in 9 days' time. The women's team will look to make it 6 wins from 6. They're already actually into the T20 Blast semi-finals. The men, of course, in a much tougher spot when it comes to trying to secure qualification.
Yeah, it's been a terrific season, hasn't it, for the Yorkshire women? 5 from 5, top of the North Group, absolutely outstanding.
So Ethan Brooks starts the new over. Out to deep backward square for 1. So Yorkshire will be pretty content with this thus far. It's worth saying as well, that boundary took the partnership past 50, and it's come up in very quick time as well. That's a properly slower ball from Brooks. So I think what we're getting a fair bit of here from Brooks, and we're going to see a fair bit of this from both teams tonight, is particularly out towards this longer boundary, the Western Terrace, bowling cutters into the pitch, taking the pace off and making the batters hit out to those slightly longer boundaries. That's smashed down the ground. That's like a bullet from Wharton. What a shot. Power and timing. Well, he is a particularly strong hitter in that straight V, and that was the perfect demonstration.
Yeah, dismissive. I think that's how I describe that shot from James Wharton. He's making this look tremendously easy at the moment, and yeah, that's a vicious shot down the ground. Absolutely no chance for Adam Hose to get around from long on. Great shot.
And this time Wharton goes in a similar area. It's well fielded on the bounce. It's good cricket all round. Keeps it to a single. It's Adam Hose who was down there. Reminder, if you're just tuning in, Yorkshire with 2 wins from 8, Worcestershire with 3 wins from 8. Their 3 wins coming against Yorkshire and then against Notts and Durham. That's nibbled away. But it's very difficult really to find a pocket to get to because the outfield's so quick.
Yeah, it is. It's rapid, isn't it? We saw that a little bit earlier on with that shot from Will Luxton in the power play. So, yeah, it's something for Worcestershire just to be aware of. And, of course, they'll have the exact same conditions, providing it doesn't rain, in the run chase as well. So, yeah, definitely a lightning-fast outfield here in Leeds.
When is it not? Particularly this hot summer we've had. That's into the pads. Will be a scampered single. End of the over.
End of the 10th over.
And it's another productive over for Yorkshire. 17 runs coming from it. Extends this partnership to being worth 61 and counting now. I'm delighted to say change up here in the commentary box. Aaron Fowles has been replaced by Ben Cliff. Yorkshire bowler still working his way back, but got a first bowl in the twos the other day, and I would imagine you're particularly chuffed to see your great mate Will Luxton once again at Headingley with you on commentary scoring runs. So hoping there's maybe a bit of an omen from that Leicestershire game. That first ball of the new overs pulled away. They're going to get back for 2.
Well, first off, good evening, Michael. Yeah, it's fantastic to see Will and James in the runs again, both playing fantastically this evening. Hopefully it can continue.
It's cut away very hard, but straight to that sweeper. Yeah, be pretty content with the first half from a Yorkshire point of view here.
Yeah, definitely going at just over 10s. I don't think you can argue with that at the moment.
I guess this is the point as well, with the platform set, a deep batting lineup. You hope, from a Yorkshire point of view, you can get greedy and go potentially even beyond 200 by quite a distance here.
Yeah, definitely. Keeping wickets in the 10 and hopefully go big later on, which you definitely can.
Pushed in quicker and flatter. Wharton's nailed that at deep mid-wicket. So 5 off 4 from this over, where Singh has done a pretty good job of keeping a lid on things. Gets a dot there as well. Yorkshire recovering from the early loss of Bairstow for 4, caught by Dwarshus off Taylor and Milan for 8. So that's hit hard through the covers. This is going to take some stopping. They're going to get 2. Well, I know the players wear these trackers these days. I'd like to see how many steps Ethan Brooks has been getting out there and what intensity, because you do get a good workout out there as a sweeper. 11 overs gone, exactly 10 and over being scored to this point. 7 runs off it. So 9 overs from here. Obviously, 10 and over from here gets 200. If these two could go more towards the supersonic region, 12 and over would bring Yorkshire up to, that would give them another 18, would take them to 218, which I think is fair to say if I was Noel Edmonds and there was a red and blue box, you'd say deal on that, would you?
Yeah, I think you'd be saying deal. That's definitely where they'll be looking, I think, but these two are ticking along nicely at the moment and setting that up for the back end.
So, Brett Oliveira is bringing himself on. His second, his first went for 6. That's hit hard out to long off. Wharton making room. It's been one feature we've seen from both of these two tonight. Been very content to try and step away to leg a lot, really mess with the bowler's line and rhythm. Again, Wharton stepping away. He's hit that very hard, no chance for long on. Well, that's plenty of timing, but the power from Wharton there off the back foot is also quite astonishing. And that is a half century. It's Will Luxton, I beg your pardon, who brings it up in style. It's his second 50 here at Headingley in the Blast this season. He did it against Leicestershire in the doubleheader. Now he's done it against Worcestershire. He gets that one away for a single. To give you the notable numbers from that, it's 53 now off 32 balls with 4 4s and 2 6s. It's actually not quite as quick as the one against Leicestershire. That was a 24 ball 50. On the reverse this time, and that's hit the keeper, and that's injured the keeper. Well, I think that's caught him in an awkward spot, just the way he went down. That's not pleasant for Gareth Roderick. You can just tell by the reaction. He's going to stick it out. Misses on the sweep. That's gone through Roderick, who still looks in some considerable pain here, to be honest. And it goes away for 4. And it's going to be wides as well, so it's 5 wides. Brucey bonus here for Yorkshire.
Oh. Just gone through his legs there, Roderick, and absolutely races away down the hill. No stopping that.
I'm a little bit surprised Roderick here hasn't called for some treatment. I know that teams are very aware of over rates and things like that, but he doesn't look in a good way. Steps away, and this is going to be 4 more. Well, Luxton is really into a groove here, and the pressure is right on the visitors. It is more carnage here. Well, both of these players are absolutely flying along. Good luck stopping them. That's the task the visitors have got. So that's nibbled away for 1. So end of another good over for Yorkshire. That one has gone for 17. 127 for 2. So in terms of your recovery, for those maybe just tuning into the stream, Ben Cliff, Yorkshire bowler alongside us, you were saying that you played a few games in the twos as a specialist batter, which it was something of a relatively unfamiliar cricketing role for you.
Yeah.
Content to be back bowling yesterday in that twos game?
Yeah, well, I'm not a very specialist batter, but yeah. Yeah, back bowling yesterday was really good to be back out there with the lads and playing a game that's a bit more normal in the sense of bowling, and yeah, it was great. The result not so much, but that can happen. But yeah, really enjoyable. Nice to be back.
Yeah, and I know you were saying you bowled 2 at the top and then 1 as a single and 1 as a single across your 4.
Yeah.
New over starts with being sweetly struck by Luxton, but straight to the sweeper for 1. So it's that age-old question that someone in your position probably gets sick of being asked by people like me, but I'm sure there's plenty of Yorkshire fans at home wondering the same thing. How long till you reckon you're fully 100% and potentially right in that first team contention?
Well, I mean, yesterday went well, and just got to keep listening to advice from the physios and S&Cs, and hopefully it's not too far away.
Swipe and a miss from Wharton, who I don't think quite picked what was a very clever change-up from Taylor. And of course, this is Will O'Rourke's last home game of the Blast Group stage. He'll play on Sunday at Chesterfield, but those last 4 games, that might potentially open up an opportunity for someone like you. Who knows?
Yeah, potentially. Just got to put putting some good performances in the twos and see what they want to do, really.
Gets this away, but again he's almost timed it too well to have any chance of a second, but he has the very significant consolation of another 50 for Yorkshire at Headingley. Much like Will Luxton, he has tonight scored his second home 50 of the competition this season. It's 50 off 29 balls with 7 fours, a very impressive strike rate of 172 per 100 balls, which comes out in the washers in the region of about 10.4 and over in terms of a personal scoring rate. As that's down the ground, hit hard for 6. Luxton going downtown, and Yorkshire are absolutely flying here.
How easy is that? That's a right shot from Will. How did it look like he tried?
He just holds the pose as if it's, yep, I'm on the par 5 at the golf course, get the driver up, bang, cheers, there you go. Reminds me of some content on the County Championship YouTube page about Jonny Bairstow in a couple of games this season, how long he holds the pose sometimes after certain shots. Always a satisfying sight for a batter, knowing you've hit it that cleanly. No need to even think or contemplate running. Short, and Luxton has gone supersonic. That is absolutely massive. That's right in towards the back of the east stand. Well, that really is huge. Back-to-back 6s.
Yeah, you don't bowl there to Will. That's his bread and butter. Thank you for coming. Easy shot again.
Thank you for coming, but goodbye to the ball, which they have just about managed to retrieve from the back of the stand.
Yeah, impressive shot, just where he likes it there, Will.
And that shot means that he has a new T20 best. Will Luxton, those back-to-back 6s have taken him to that. This time it's a more conventional, classical square drive, which we've already seen a couple of times from him tonight. So Luxton gets 1. He'll be quite happy with that because it means that he's kept the strike. That over has gone for 15. The partnership with that single comes to exactly 100. And remarkably, that 100 partnership has come up in 56 balls. So you're not far off going at 2 a ball between this pair. And for Luxton, it is a new T20 best. He's gone past the 62 off 34 that he made in that big partnership with Milan here in the win against Leicestershire, where Ben Cliff was also on commentary. So much as I'm sure you'd love to be out there playing with him, I sense there's a bit of a trend here where it might be a bit of a good luck charm for Will Luxton to have you up here in the box.
I think Will might keep shoving me up here, really.
So new over starts with a slog sweep that will take some chasing into one of those deep pockets. The in-ground monitor's just showing the details of that 100 partnership. It's been pretty even in terms of contributions. 45 of that 100 partnership scored by Luxton, 50 scored by Wharton. Both have gone through the gears at different moments. So that one will have to be re-bowled. Interesting to see where Worcestershire go here. We've already seen 7 bowlers used, which even for the modern day is a lot of pack shuffling. Oh, and that caught Luxton in a slightly awkward position. He's okay. It was not quite Bambi on ice, but he was just a bit awkward as he shunted that foot back.
He's done well to get back there, as looks it.
It's helped away for 1. Yeah, it's a skill in itself, that, and it's not the easiest to necessarily practice. Plenty have made themselves get into quite a lot of bother trying to do so. Down the track, inside out. Oh, that is a gorgeous shot. You won't see too many better tonight from James Wharton. He knew that the gap was between deep cover and long off, and he's picked it perfectly.
Yeah, super shot from Warts there. Classic. 1 bounce for.
Is that in quicker and flatter? Some slightly faint LBW appeals. Could be a run out. Well, direct hit definitely would have been gone, and then Wharton wanted a second, and Luxton rightly just gave the international signal for calm down with his left hand and just said, no, I'm quite content here. Down the ground, could be out. Oh, it's dropped. It's dropped. My goodness me, that is quite the life. A huge slice of luck for Yorkshire. Remember that Luxton was already dropped earlier on tonight. And now it is another chance that goes down.
After 14 overs,
Luxton survives. That really should have been gone. As simple as that. Worcestershire Rapids will be in disbelief that they haven't got him there. It was straight in and straight out of Ben Allison's breadbasket. All too aware, of course, the game always looks easy from up here in the commentary box, but that is one that you would expect to this level to be taken at least 95 times out of 100. So 152 for 2 of 14, 10 off that over. The partnership continues to go on its merry way. So 6 overs left, and Yorkshire now, well, it's a chance to get greedy, isn't it, really?
Definitely is. 2 set batters now, and they'll be thinking one thing, and that's how many can we get. And 8 wickets in the 10, it's quite a nice place to be.
And Luxton has flown on to 75. Luxton's been taking control of the partnership in more recent times. Waite starts the new over with a very clever ball outside that off stump. Seen a few people in the YouTube live chat talking about this partnership compared to others from Yorkshire this season. Remember that Luxton did put on 132 off 69 with Milan in that win against Leicestershire. This partnership is currently worth 110, so it's still got a little bit to go to get to that. That's away for a single from Will Luxton.
It's well bowled from Matthew Waite, that. Finding the block hole again. Not much Will can do with it.
And he's someone that I presume, having not quite the same time, but you would have collided plenty in Yorkshire cricket circles, you'll be all too aware of an admirer of his abilities.
Yeah, definitely. He was fantastic teammate. I had him for a season, and he was fantastic for me and the group. He was a big miss, really. He was weighty, good character.
Matthew Waite now charging in against his old club. And again, that's one, which at this stage of things is a very good result. You might look at bowling figures of 10 runs conceded off 9 wicketless and think that that's somewhat unremarkable, but right now he's comfortably the most economical bowler in this innings for the visitors. Smacked away down the ground, but it's picked out long off on the bounce. Still plenty of batting in the hutch here for Yorkshire. You think of Will Sutherland, the Australian overseas, who hit 4 sixes in 5 balls in the game here against Northants. Jordan Thompson, he can certainly hit a long ball. Plenty to come. And then, of course, into Matthew Revis, who hit 150 in that recent red ball win against Essex. Well, he's timed that perfectly. Once again, plenty of ground covered, and covered well by Ethan Brooks out there. Scamper back for 2. So Waite has only gone for 13 off 11 here. Given the carnage, he's actually been very good.
It's a good set so far. Can he get out of it?
This is away for what will likely be at least 2. You'd have to say, so that's the end of the over, 159 for 1. It's another good over from Waite. So he's conceded 7. He's gone for 15 off 2. whilst the ground fielding has been very good tonight for the Worcestershire Rapids, those 2 drops off Will Luxton, one when he was very early in his innings, and then one 5 minutes or so ago, are looking quite costly.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was a tough chance, but when it went down, I remember saying to myself, I think he's nailed on for a few here, and he's got a few, but yeah, the second one, inexcusable really. It should have been taken. Hopefully it cost them quite a lot.
Pencliffe, Yorkshire bowler, rightly making no attempt to hide his bias, of course. Part of the home camp, and there's every chance we'll see him in action later on in this Blast campaign as he returns from injury. Great to have your company on this Vertu live stream. Backs away, and they'll run as well, so 2 wides to start the 16th over. Allison responding to the movement of Luxton, which is a theme we've seen tonight. What goes through your head when you see a batter back away so early?
Depends really. Depends where you've spoke about, where they like to hit it, what they might be thinking.
Backs away again and misses it. Wharton with a wild swoosh.
Yeah, it can be quite tempting to follow them, but people like Warts and Luxie, they like it there still, so it can be difficult. They can put you off, but sometimes going the other way might be a better option and getting it out of their arc really.
Steps across, Wharton, that's so clever. Just helps it on its way so nonchalantly, so cool, as if it's no big deal, and it's shots like that is why a lot of people are excited about the big talent that is James Wharton.
Yeah, super shot from Warts. One of his best, practices it a lot, and there you go, 4 more for it, down the hill.
So Wharton is on to 63. I mean, you're now getting towards the point where Wharton and Luxton can almost have a version of a hitting contest out there in the middle.
Yeah, definitely. These two, I always say it, they're the best to watch when they're together in full flow. I've seen them do this to quite a few teams in the 2s, and now obviously in the first team as well. Exciting.
Short and pulled away, hit really hard. That has gone to one of the longest pockets of the boundaries tonight, and yet it has still gone for 6. Exceptional from Wharton. It's not a quick enough short ball to really trouble a player of his immense quality.
Yeah, he's given himself some room again, and he's followed him as Allison, and he's helped it on its way for 6. Strong shot again into the Western Terrace.
And that pocket out there, 66 metre square boundary, so by the time you actually get round to that pocket, you're probably into the low 70s. It's not a short boundary at all. This time Wharton's hit that hard down the ground, but will only get 1. So he's on to 70. Yorkshire won 8 of the 10 head-to-heads that these sides have had in T20s at Headingley. They're making a very good start to continuing that run and turning it into 9 from 11 here. Yorkshire did win both meetings between these two last season. Slur ball and waits for it, Luxton, and then powers it through the covers for 4. Well, this is going to sound an odd thing to say, but it did take him a moment to readjust, but once he did, still manages to get it cracked through for 4.
Yeah, intelligent shot there from Will. He's waited and waited and waited and kept it just about down. 4 runs.
This over's already gone for 17. Still 1 ball to go. And the last ball could be out, should be out. It is out. Caught at deep cover. A tremendous knock from Will Luxton has to come to an end. 5 yards either side of the fielder with the power he put on it. He might well have got 4, but as it was, He has to depart for a fantastically made career best 81 off 47, just his second ever T20 50, and an innings that nobody who was at the ground here tonight will be forgetting anytime soon.
Oh, fantastic innings from Luxie there. It's put us in a really good position to win this game and get put on a good score.
Magnificent partnership between Luxton and Wharton. Luxton goes for 81 off 47 with 6 fours and 4 sixes, a strike rate of 172. So you're looking at in and around 10.3 and over in terms of the run rate he's scored at as an individual through his innings. And the partnership is worth 134 for that third wicket. So it's 2 bigger than the partnership Milan and Luxton had here against Leicestershire. Yorkshire's biggest T20 partnership this season. And out comes Will Sutherland. Victoria and Melbourne Renegade skipper, he can hit a long ball. High score of 58 here when he hit Guthrie for 4 sixes in 5 balls when the bowling was coming from this Howard stand end. Facing his fellow Aussie Dwarcius, who starts with a wide. This is really the perfect scenario for Will Sutherland. He even said in an interview that his perfect scenario to come out to bat was about the 13th to 15th over with runs on the board. So that will be away for at least 1. He wants 2, but they will not get 2. So from here, 4 overs left, 10 and over, 218, kind of that sort of region, if not more.
Yeah,
you might be looking at.
Like we said, there's a few finishers. There's a few finishers out there, and a few finishers still waiting to bat. So.
Oh, that's nicely bowled by Dwarcius, who's frequently at, if not right in the very top of the list of wicket takers in the Big Bash. Very shrewd overseas acquisition for Worcestershire. Played for them back in the 2021 T20 Blast. Played for Durham last season, and he's Worcestershire's top wicket taker this season. He's not had the best night here in truth so far. He's gone for 32 off just 14 balls. Well, that's guided away by Sutherland. I don't think he's meant it to go there. That's a bit of luck for Sutherland in this duel of the 2 Aussies.
Yeah, just across Sutherland there, on the back foot, healthy edge for 4. He'll be taking those.
So Sutherland off the mark. He's mowed this away. We'll get just 1. Well, that Gareth Roderick's been in the wars tonight. He's already been caught awkwardly by 1, and that flew up off the practice pitches.
He took his teeth out, that.
Yeah, nasty. Thankfully, Roderick evades it and is okay. Wharton again, getting it nowhere near where he intended it, but it flies for 4. Bit of luck, but Wharton will take it, Yorkshire will take it, and it's a second boundary of the over.
Nice T20 cricket for you. He's not known much about that.
Yeah, Wharton, I think, is looking to go in that cow corner sort of region.
How's he got that there?
My thoughts exactly. Yeah, Hotspot would have feel that came right off the side of the blade, I suspect. Runs nevertheless. This time Wharton scoops this. It's gone very, very high. It's going to be a very tough chance. Just out of reach of the fielder running back, who then tries to kick it in, but knew he was over the rope. And good sportsmanship, immediately signalled as 4 by Matthew Waite, who knew exactly what he'd done. So Wharton living dangerously, but the runs keep piling up.
Returning to the attack for the
Nearly.
Rapids, Kirkstall Lane.
Oh, I knew straight away.
In truth, it would have been one of those catches, had that been taken, that social media would have replayed for weeks.
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, that ball basically went into orbit. Let's have a T20 100, James Wharton. Best of 111 not out in this format. And he's definitely got a chance of getting one here. 191 for 3 off 17, 3 overs left.
I think it was against these, if I remember right, against the Rapids.
Spot on. As that's turned away, they are going to come back, and they will get back.
Well, everyone, I'm sure Waite will be going to his Yorkers again. He seems to be executing those well tonight. He's been the pick of the bowlers for Worcester.
Yeah, that maiden T20 ton in 2023 for James Wharton against these very opponents on this very ground. You mentioned them coming through the twos. Wharton and Luxton were both actually stars of the seconds winning the championship title back in 2022. That's hit very hard out to long off for 1. And without meaning to give them a very lofty comparison, there's shades of... I remember my granddad, and I say this as a 5th generation person with an element of Yorkshire cricket heritage in my family, telling me about certain Joe Root and Jonny Bairstow putting on huge partnerships right through the academy teams and into the twos. So exciting when you see players like that come through and particularly do it together. That's down the ground. Good diving stop. His best goalkeeping impression from Allison means that it's kept to just a single. And I guess for you as well as a fast bowler in a similar way, it's so cool to have that journey of coming up with the same people right the way through.
Yeah, definitely. We're lucky. We've got a really good group and there's some good mates in there. And like I said, we're all similar age and come through together. Some good memories, really.
Oh, sliced away. Not for the first time tonight. Wharton is using the trusty outside edge. And it's come good for him again. It's 4 more. You have to feel a bit for Waite, who gets the very, very small consolation of a moral victory. But Wharton's earning his luck.
He is, yeah. Almost raises the hand and apologises, I think. Almost looks like.
200 up with that 4 as well. Yorkshire powering on. Well, that's a very clever response from Matthew Waite. Bencliffe, Yorkshire bowler alongside me, is purring in appreciation for the skills there.
Yeah, it's well bowled. Wide Yorker, block hole. Can't go wrong.
Well, Waite will come back and bowl the 20th. One would imagine that it will be Dorcius who will bowl the 19th. This is going to be, I would imagine, a 2. It certainly will. So, end of the over, 202 for 3. Thank you very much to Bencliffe for coming up to the box and giving us his time tonight.
After the 18th over, Yorkshire at 202 for 3.
So 2 overs left. And Yorkshire from here will hope for, I would imagine, at least the old Nelson of the 2-2-2, if not some bonuses as well. Thank you very much to Bencliffe for his time. He's going off to enjoy the second half of this game with a nice jumper wrapped up on the Western Terrace, because it is turning into that kind of a night. And we haven't actually had too many of them this season. It's been so gloriously sunny, but it's a bit more traditional English cricket weather. It's just about not raining, but bring a jumper.
Yeah, it is. It's quite chilly, quite windy. And yeah, it's funny, you were mentioning about Wharton and that previous ton, the 1-1-1 against Worcestershire right here in 2023. I'll talk about his record after this next delivery.
Dorcius starting the penultimate over. And he's being absolutely belted down the ground. Classic Sutherland, using those long levers. He loves to target that region, and he does so very successfully.
Well, we'll just take a look at the replay of this one. Gets into position nice and early, turns it into a low-fall toss and dispatches it into the Howard stand. We saw that against Northamptonshire a little bit earlier on in the campaign. I mean, this is an ideal platform, isn't it, for Will Sutherland to smash some big sixes.
This is completely sliced straight to point and taken. So it is Dwarshus who ultimately wins the battle of the two Australians. Sutherland trying to go for accessing that kind of wide long on pocket again, but instead he has spooned up a pretty regulation catch. But no shame in getting out like that at this stage of the innings. Yorkshire have got to go for it, and Sutherland perishes in doing so.
Yeah, it is. It's that kind of situation now, isn't it, for Yorkshire? Just try and get everything to the boundary. 208 for 4, 10 legal deliveries of the innings still remaining. I mean, it's going to be the ploy, isn't it, at this stage? And entering the middle now is another man with plenty of power, someone who can hit some enormous sixes. It's Jordan Thompson. So left-hand, right-hand combination, something for Dwarshus and whoever bowls that final over just to be aware of. But what a score this is so far for Yorkshire. I've just been looking at the other scores across the North Group, comfortably the biggest on this Friday evening.
Jordan Thompson, handy man to come in. First ball, Thompson gets in all sorts of a tangle, sprints away for a single. We said in the build-up to tonight, looking at the fixtures we have left, they're tough, but why can't we qualify? We've put ourselves under immense pressure. We have to stand up and try and win, but in T20 cricket, it can happen. I feel like I've not played any cricket in recent weeks, and it's been frustrating. I'm not used to being on the sideline and staring at gym walls instead of playing cricket. It's not particularly my forte. See him with the ball. He'll be key later on. He's been Yorkshire's either top wicket taker or at least joint top wicket taker in each of the last 4 seasons, Jordan Thompson. So don't underestimate in this last campaign what a big miss he's been for his absence through large parts due to injury. Down the ground by Wharton for 1. He also, interestingly, talked about the schedule, Thompson. He said, we had Lancashire twice at the back end. I think having 2 Roses games then is pretty bad scheduling, because you really want to have them both, or at least one, in the first block when it's on the TV. The fans are piling in, and there's definitely something on it. Remember that those 2 games against Lancashire coming up very soon now, on the 11th and the 17th. Worth marking those dates in your diaries. Have to re-bowl that one, Dwarshus, who's had a tough night here. He's got 2 legal deliveries left and he's gone for 54, which is uncharacteristically expensive for someone who's such a dependable performer like he is.
It is, but then again, it's been down to some ruthless batting, hasn't it, from Yorkshire? It has been absolutely outstanding from the likes of Luxton, James Wharton as well. Just 12 runs shy of what would be a second T20 ton against the Rapids. Straight to cover for a single. So 212 for 4 with 7 balls left. And Wharton needs 12 for what would be a second ever T20 ton of his promising career. Latest cab off the rank of a county that, of course, have been known for so long at producing some of the best batters around. If he looks to ramp here. Instead, it's a swish outside the off stump. And that is the end of the over. So Wharton's chances of turning up have just slightly moved against him with that ball. 19 overs gone. 212 for 4 with 1 left. Yeah, either way though, this is a fantastic total for Yorkshire, and if we are to look at records in matches between these two sides, the highest ever total that the White Rose have amassed against Worcestershire was 233 for 6 right here at Headingley in 2017. So it would take 22 runs off these final 6 deliveries to beat that, but either way, this is exactly what the home side needed. Runs on the board, scoreboard pressure, and yeah, providing that the rain stays away, we are in for a grandstand finish by the end of that run chase. Wait to complete. He's been Worcestershire's most impressive bowler, even though he hasn't taken a wicket. He's only gone for 26 off 3. It's been their most economical. He's been a bit luckless.
powered away by Thompson, who didn't move. He knew it was 6 from the moment he hit it. Classic Jordan Thompson, plenty of power, and well, he's barely been out there a moment, but his third ball goes over the ropes.
And this is what he does, stand and deliver from Jordan Thompson. Gets into position really early, smokes it over towards deep mid-wickets. And there was only ever one outcome from that one. You could hear it, a nice big meaty thwack off the bat. And yeah, Yorkshire now really beginning to rack up an imperious total.
Oh, that sounded so good from Thompson. How about this for a pickup? Deep square legs out there, but Thompson, just watch the way he stands still as well. He knew. Just stood there. I'm too excited. I've lost the ability to speak. It's a delight to watch. It's a hitting clinic. And if you're a Yorkshire fan, the only thing that's probably making you feel a touch sad watching this is, of course, it was recently revealed that as of next season, he'll be joining Warwickshire. He'll be with the Bears. Comes across again. Oh, this is going to be a run out. Wharton will be run out. You have to feel for James Wharton. That is such an unfortunate way for a magnificent innings to end. He deservedly will get a great ovation as he walks off. It is a fantastic knock. 88 for James Wharton. He's run out at the non-striker's end by Matthew Waite. He's doing exactly selflessly what he should do for the team at that point of things, which is be looking to run. And as it is, he has to go 2-2-4 for 5. Wharton out for 88 of 48 with 12 fours and a 6. Strike rate of 187. So he was going at about, in terms of his own personal score, 11 and a bit and over.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate, but it's a marvellous knock nonetheless. And if you take a look at his record against Worcestershire in T20s now, averaging 111.5, so not the worst record against the Rapids.
Thompson's already hit 2 sixes in this over. And this will not be another. It will spoon away through the covers for 2. Yeah, that is some individual record.
It is, it gets better. Striking at nearly 200. Seeing 198 at the minute in terms of the strike rate. So, yeah, he loves facing the West Midlands outfit. And look, it's set up Yorkshire for a commanding total here. Anything over 220 at Headingley is very, very difficult to chase down. So, yeah, the batting unit have certainly done their job in this first 20 overs. Still got 2 deliveries remaining on top of that.
Steps across again, and 6 more for Thompson. It's another one. My goodness me, sparks are flying from this final over. Jordan Thompson is finishing the innings in some style.
Well, this is exceptional. It's a third 6 of the over for Jordan Thompson, and every single one has come about with a different shot. Incredible style, impeccable timing, and, well, 1 delivery remaining. That record total was 2-3-3 for 6, so we could see a little bit of history here.
Remember that we did have that game against Northants for Yorkshire where 461 runs were scored across the 2 innings, so don't rule out Worcestershire chasing this. Last legitimate ball of the innings. Whipped away. They're going to have to try and come back for 2. They shouldn't get 2. They do not get 2. So Thompson is run out trying to get a second. But 24 of 8 run out is one heck of a finisher's knock. Matthew Revis came in for that last ball and ultimately was just scampering around to help Yorkshire get what they can. And at the midway point of things, primarily built by superb knocks from Will Luxton and James Wharton, you would say that having been sent into bat, Yorkshire will feel the happier of the 2, having posted 2-3-3 for 6.
They will be absolutely delighted. And look, the foundation was set, wasn't it, by Will Luxton and James Wharton, the former scoring 81, the latter with 88. Desperately unlucky to get out in the inauspicious way in which he did. Ran out at the non-striker's end by Matthew Waite, but that is an imperious total for the White Rose, 233 for 6. It's a carbon copy of that total in 2017. So in a big game like tonight, you've got to get these 4 points on the board. That is precisely what the home side required from those first 20 overs.
A must-win game for Yorkshire then, and having been in a bit of trouble early doors when losing Jonny Bairstow to just the 4th ball of the innings, have made an excellent start to getting that desperately needed victory. 81 of 47 for Will Luxton, 88 of 47 for James Wharton. Those two put on 134 of 70 balls, and it's their partnership primarily, combined with some late finishing from Sutherland with 14 off 7 and Thompson with 23 off 8, that puts Yorkshire in the driving seat at the midway point of things. Ben Allison, technically the best bowler of the innings with his 2 for 35 off 3. You have to feel a little for Matthew Waite, who ends up with number 47, but actually bowled a fair bit better than those figures suggest. But the fact that Worcestershire used 7 bowlers very much points to the fact that Captain Brett D'Oliveira was somewhat unsure of his options as he was trying to juggle around different places to go. We'll leave you for the mid-innings with Richard Graves, who will have the Vertu Bullseye Challenge. And before that, you can see on the outfield a really nice moment for the Yorkshire Pathway players, who are getting their chance to do a lap. They're the boys and girls from the Yorkshire's Performance Pathway teams. Yorkshire's lucky to have 80 extremely talented girls representing the White Rose between under 11s and under 18s as part of our girls county age group programme. The Yorkshire Boys County Age Group programme, also including over 100 promising youngsters from under 12s right up to Yorkshire's famous academy team. Over 400 boys and 100 girls taking part in that regional programme, which is North East, Central, South and West all compete against each other in a full summer programme as they progress up the pathway. So wherever you are in the world, please do show your appreciation for Yorkshire's Pathway stars of the future, and who knows, there might well be some Nat Siver Brunts, some James Whartons, some Joe Roots hiding in and amongst that group of the future. But for now, we'll bid you adieu from the commentary box. Mid-innings, 234 to win is the target, and we imagine there'll be some fun pitch side with Richard Graves as well. And then the second innings, it will be Maruf Khan and Aaron Viles back with you.
Cricket ball in the middle, you get 10 points. Landed on the middle ring, 5 points. The outer ring, 1 point. Anywhere else, no points. We started this competition a month ago. The leader is Arian with 11. The prize, it's still a mystery. It's one that money simply cannot buy, but it's going to be good. We've got 2 more competitors tonight trying to top this leaderboard. We've got Joe and we've got Neil. Come on here. Tell us who you are, where you're from.
Neil from Bradford.
Neil from Bradford. Are you a cricketer?
Sort of.
Are you confident?
Yeah.
Joe, come on in. Where are you from?
Burley and Wharfdale.
How confident are you?
Not very.
Harry Brooks from Burley and Wharfdale, a local lad. Right, you've got 5 balls. Are you going first?
Oh, yeah, looks like it. Right.
Right, 9 yards away. 11 points is a target to beat. Anywhere there's good. Away you go. He's just going for the crown green bowl style. No good. He's off the target. No points. It'd have gone right through it anyway. Now that's better. Bit more pace. It's still going down the hill. He's only got 3 balls left. He needs 11. That's not even going to make the target. We need 2 bullseyes. Too much adrenaline's gone right through. 1 more ball. Come on, Joe. You can land it on surely. No good. You're the first person to score no points. That was abysmal. Right, Neil, this is your opportunity. Not only can you beat Joe, but you can get 12 points and be top of this leaderboard.
To him.
Can you beat him now?
I can beat him, yeah.
Right, okay. Here we go. Just land it on the target. That's better pace. Through the bullseye. Is he going to hang on? It is 5 points with your first ball. 4 to go. Look at that technique. He's got the pace down now. It's just run through the back. 3 balls left. Let's pull that one a bit. I'm not sure that's going to hang on. It doesn't. 2 balls to go. We need a couple of bullseyes. He's lost his confidence. He's lost his mojo. 1 to go. To tie the lead, you need the bullseye. It might make it to the target. It does. It's just 6 points. Unlucky. Come on in, fellas. Great effort. The first ball was in there. You must have thought you had a chance.
A little chance, yeah.
But it wasn't to be, no?
No, not to be, not to be.
Joe, what went wrong?
Abysmal, wasn't it? Terrible.
It wasn't that good, mate. Let me tell you. Look, great to have you with us. Great competitors. Cheers, guys. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Arian still tops the table on 11 points.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to have a little extra money for your holiday? If you buy any used car from the 4th to the 14th of July, we'll give you an extra £500 over and above the amazing deal you'll already get. And if you part exchange by selling us your car too, we'll give you another £500, making a total of £1,000, which is a lot of ice creams, suitcases, beach toys for the dog, or a nicer car to go on holiday in. Ends July the 14th. We are Vertu.
and Hassan Adnan.
Very warm welcome back to Headingley, where Yorkshire are defending a total of 233 for 6. It was tied for the record in matches between the Rapids and Yorkshire in T20 cricket. So 234 runs, the target for Worcestershire. Of course, Yorkshire will be desperately hoping that they can defend those runs and get a third win on the season on the board and reignite their hopes of a shot at the top 4. My name is Aaron Viles. I'll be your lead ball-by-ball commentator, and alongside me in the co-commentary position is the brilliant Maroof Khan. Maroof, what did you make of that first 20 overs from the hosts?
If ever you want to start a game where you require 6 wins in a trot, that's the way to start it. You know, you needed the momentum, you need the impetus. 233 runs, walking in the morning, you're seeing the wicket, Yorkshire would have taken that. So I think that's one hell of a performance, if you ask me, in the first innings. But no, that's only half the job done. The bowlers and the Yorkshire players know themselves that this is a place that runs can go very quickly, and they have to have a good start. And I think Matt Mills with the ball will be good, because seeing him come back after a few injuries, etc. as well, he does a bit with the ball as well, but he's a shrewd campaigner. If he can get under the 10 runs and over the ball that is required of him, he might do well.
He certainly can. Here he is then from the Howard stand end, bowling here to Ishaq Mohammed, who starts off proceedings with a single. Yeah, in terms of Mills' campaign so far, 5 wickets, the economy rate hanging around about 8.1 per over. So I suppose if he goes at that tonight and the rest of the unit do as well, Yorkshire win the game. So yeah, we'll wait and see if he can continue this strong start to the campaign. Had a real standout performance at Edgbaston against the Bears, where he took 3 wickets in what was ultimately a defeat for the White Rose, but definitely a good bowler to have first up here in the opening stages of the power play.
Any bowler in my book can go under 9 runs and over in T20 cricket. Is a phenomenal bowler. That's the one bowler I'll pick in my squad, purely because I know that when the crunch happens, there's a bowler who's going to go under the rate. That's happened. Going to create a lot of pressure for everybody else around them, and then create chances, and which is a good bowler to have in your squad.
Oliveira thinks about taking on the throw of the fielder there. Wisely decides against it. Yeah, in terms of the modern T20 bowler, 200 runs is pretty much the total of the day, isn't it, in 2025? So, yeah, completely concur with that. If you've got a bowler going at less than 9 runs and over, and taking wickets, of course, always a nice combination for any side to possess. That's the first real shot in anger there from Brett D'Oliveira. Chased on for Jordan Thompson, and it's one which will be won by the ball. Flailed away. Very square of the wicket there from the Worcestershire captain, and that is the first boundary on the board for the visitors.
Yeah, T20 cricket is all about hitting your areas, staying in the zone. 3 good balls from Mills, and then one with a little bit of width outside the off stump. Oliveira, seeing the space and the width, just throws his hands at it, 4 runs.
Yeah, easy pickings there, wasn't it, for the Rapids opener? It's a good response, though, isn't it, from Matt Milnes to that boundary, just tucking him up for room, not allowing him to open up the arms. That's exactly the kind of riposte that you want from your opening bowler.
Very intelligent bowling as well. Seeing the first slip come in, the batter might have thought that the ball is going to move away, but Matt, being Matt, ducks it back in, double bluffs the batter, dot ball, gold dust.
Well, D'Oliveira makes room. Has he got it over the top of the fielder? Almost corralled back in by James Wharton. It would have been a spectacular one-handed effort. As a result, the Worcestershire pair scamper through for 2 runs, and well, that would have been the early breakthrough that the White Rose were desperately hoping for. We'll see the replay on this. It's a great effort, isn't it, from Wharton to get across, just get the right palm on it. But in the end, it is not the wickets that the home side were wanting. As a result, the Rapids 7 without loss after 1.
6.1 feet, this kid throws his hand at it. It would have been one hell of an excellent catch, really, if you ask me. But great over. 7 runs and over. He's gone below his average again. and the dot ball before created that pressure of hitting the boundary, which Worcestershire Rapid needs. So great start so far.
Very good start indeed, and coming on to bowl here from the Kirkstall Lane ends, we'll see Will Sutherland for the first time in this game, bounding in with real purpose here to Ishaq Mohammed, who leaves that first ball well alone. Have you seen much of Ishaq Maroof? Because he's been so impressive in these opening two matches. Didn't quite fire against the Bears in the derby at Edgbaston, but scored that destructive 32 from 15 deliveries against Durham, included taking Matthew Potts for 19 runs in an over. Have you seen much of his batting so far? We'll touch upon that after this ball from Sutherland. Oh, he gets lucky there. Great diving stop from Jonny Bairstow. Prevents it going for 4 runs, but yeah, this is a very good start, this from Will Sutherland.
Yeah, not seen much of him, to be honest, but what I see is right in front of me, a kid who has got a very strong base, waits for the call. It looks very balanced at the crease, which is a great start, but has good fast hands, and I believe he got 40 odd runs as well for England A, not so bad or good, so maybe in good spirits and looking forward for this challenge.
Well, there's the first shot of anger from Ishaq Mohammed. Goes well over the top, all the way for 6 runs, and this is what this guy is all about. A reminder that he's only 17 years old, has made a real impression on the Worcestershire faithful, and I'll tell you what, that is quintessential Ishaq Mohammed. Easy 6.
Fearless cricket, that. Fearless cricket. Ball, it's in the arc. Head and balance very good, and then making sure the contact points are in front of him over the boundary. Easy 6 that.
And he goes again, this time inside out over the covers. 4 more runs. It's back-to-back boundaries for Ishaq Mohammed. We saw the change of field there. Matt Milnes was dropped back towards long off. Wasn't wide enough on that occasion. And Ishaq Mohammed, well, these are some ominous early signs. He's already up to 11 runs, and he is a real danger man. Someone definitely to watch out for heading into the future. How can Sutherland respond after that one? Well, that one has been pulled, and pulled very far indeed. It's 6 more runs off the bats of the Worcestershire opener, who is feasting on the bowling of Will Sutherland here. 6-4-6.
Great smart batting there. Before he bowled the ball there, you see how Ishaq come inside the line of the ball, covers it off stumps. He knew that he's got 2 balls of width there. There you go. Fast hands, comes inside the line, heads in strong position, free flow of the bat. Great cricket. That
it is. This is marvellous to watch from Ishaq Mohammed. Can Sutherland get the big wicket? Well, he fires that one into the pads of the Rapids youngster. They'll scamper through for a leg by. And for those who aren't quite familiar with Ishaq, as we see the end of the second over, Worcestershire 24 without loss. He is the nephew of Moeen Ali, and he has been at Moeen's Academy in Birmingham since he was 6 years old. So he's very much of a cricketing pedigree. Of course, Moeen has done an awful lot of work with him. And then, of course, he started his club cricket journey at Lindworth in Sturchley, also played for Solihull Municipal, and also played for Hampton and Solihull. So very much a West Midlands heavy journey for Ishaq so far, but yeah, he really is taking to first 11 cricket like a duck to water. And that one has gone straight up in the air. This could be a first ball wicket for Will O'Rourke, and indeed it is. The easiest of catches for Jonny Bairstow, and Yorkshire get there first. Will O'Rourke, who's making his final home appearance in the 2025 Blast for the White Rose, gets the danger man. Mohammed departs. Worcestershire 24 for 1.
Great ball that. I think to start off with a slower one, I believe, sort of a length, making the batter stop. Ishaq didn't expect that. Rightly so, his adrenaline might be pumping. He was looking to play shots. He had played some great shots in the previous over, looking to go ahead. I think that is very good cricket to watch from Yorkshire. which tells me that they're thinking about it. They're quite smart about it, not giving any more respect to the youngster. But I think that's a great start for Yorkshire. Safe hands of Jonny Bairstow underneath it.
Yep, easy catch, wasn't it, for someone of Bairstow's experience and class with the gloves. But as one danger man departs, another hard-hitting batter comes to the crease for the Worcestershire Rapids. It's Kashif Ali, a man who scored 154 runs at 25 so far in the competition, striking at just over 140. So this is something that the visitors do possess. It's a very punchy, power-packed top 4, top 5. Here is O'Rourke then to Ali. And that one has been chipped straight up in the air. This could be 2 wickets in 2 balls, and indeed it is. Easy catch for Will Sutherland coming across in the circle, and Will O'Rourke is on a hat-trick. Worcestershire 24 for 2.
Not sure if this is his last game, but I think he might have to stay back for more in Yorkshire. 2 of 2 balls. Probably it's me coming to watch him, but I think he's bowled great lengths here. He's not letting the batter go underneath the ball there. It stopped on him as well. Batter not sure where the ball's going. Safe as house is this kid. So 2 of 2. It's great.
Brilliant start. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Simple catch for Sutherland. And the home side are on fire. Adam Hose now, the latest Worcestershire man to enter the middle. He's their leading run scorer in the competition so far. He got them out of a bit of a hole at Trent Bridge against the Nottinghamshire Outlaws. But this is a real uphill battle now for the Rapids. And of course, as you can see, this is a hat-trick ball for Will O'Rourke. Will he make any changes to the field? Headingley.
Let's see if Will O'Rourke thinks it is a hat-trick ball or whether he's going to play for the team. If I were Will, I'm going for the Yorker at this ball.
Well, let's wait and see what he comes up with. It's Will O'Rourke steaming in with real purpose to Adam Hose. He's on a hat-trick. It's O'Rourke to Hose, and Hose finds the gap in the field on the offside. They run the first one hard. They could come back for 3 here. They've already ran 2. The ball will be shoveled back into play by Revis, and indeed they do scamper back for a 3rd. So no hat-trick for Will O'Rourke, but a terrific start to the over nonetheless.
I guess sanity prevails there, is it? 2 wickets of 2 balls. Will doing the right thing, hitting his marks, following his process. That's the right thing to do. At the moment, Yorkshire looking in a stronger position purely because of the 2 wickets that they have taken so far.
Again, some more tremendous bowling here from Will O'Rourke. 2 for 3 from his first 4 deliveries. A reminder, this is the last home game for Will O'Rourke. Has still got 1 more in the tank before Abdullah Shafiq comes into the lineup for the final 4 group stage matches. But I'll tell you what, this is some way to depart Headingley, isn't it?
Really smart bowling there, really smart bowling. Will O'Rourke is making use of his height, charging in, making sure the batter is always second guessing as to where the ball's going to go next. He's throwing his wrist away from the ball slightly, making sure the ball doesn't come onto the bat that way, and keeping his players in place. So this could be a big ball in the context of the scheme of things.
It could be, and it's a huge over, isn't it? Just the 3 runs so far in those 2 huge wickets of Mohammed and Ali. As D'Oliveira just pops him down the ground, that'll be 4 runs. Dismissive from the Rapids captain. And that brings to an end a very entertaining and fruitful first over from the Howard stand end from Will O'Rourke. 7 runs come off of it, and Worcestershire move on to 31 for 2 after 3.
Yeah, I think Will just tried to put some more pace on that ball there, really. The chain pace was working, but I think he's want to, as we said, second guess the batter. Just make sure that he's not throwing same balls all the time, getting the batters into rhythm. So good change again this side. Matt Mills coming in, might be interesting to watch.
Oh, it is. I mean, this has been a great start, hasn't it, for Yorkshire? Getting those 2 early wickets, it always just puts that cat amongst the pigeons, doesn't it? For any batting side, you've already got a mammoth run chase. The required rate already nearly touching 12 runs per over. It's Milnes then to Hose. Hose advances down the track. There could be a chance here for the fielder coming across from deep backward points, but will drop just short of him. As a result, will just be a single off the bat of the Worcestershire number 4.
As a batter, you still have to keep going. You've lost your 2 wickets, but you still have to keep the momentum up. At the moment, they require 12 runs and over. Adam Ho is very aware of what's in front of him.
Smiley will drop and run that, wasn't it, from Brett Oliveira? I mean, these two so experienced for Worcestershire. Adam Hose, of course, with those previous spells at Somerset and Warwickshire as well. One of the real finest run scorers in this T20 Blast campaign. He has been on absolute flame so far. 266 runs, averaging exactly 38. But Matt Milnes causing some issues here for the scoring rates. The visitors struggling to really get him away as of yet. He's gone for 9 runs from his first 9 deliveries. This is top quality stuff from the Yorkshire seamer.
The old cliche there, dot balls creating pressure. Pressure will hopefully create chances for Yorkshire as long as the players are ready for it. Big ball this.
Well, it's short, and that one has been hoiked away towards the Western Terrace. 1 bounce, 4 runs. Excellent shot that from Adam Hose.
So far, Yorkshire did the right thing in creating the pressure, but gave it away with a bad ball. Milnes won't be happy with that. He had no support anywhere for that kind of a ball. Adam Hose using his arms completely, threading through the line of the ball. Good shot.
Very good shots indeed. How can Milnes respond? Well, big, thick outside edge. Has that been taken? Yes, it has. That is absolutely phenomenal stuff. And Yorkshire are on fire here at Headingley. I think it's Will O'Rourke diving across to his left. He's mobbed by his teammates. And Worcestershire now 37 for 3. Adam Hose, the latest man to depart for 8. Maroof, that was exceptional.
That was a big wicket. In the context of the game, great wicket. I'm sure the boys running to the catcher and taking his passport away at the moment. I think they want him to stay back. Great ball there. I think it's a bit of a change of pace, I see. Adam Hose finished with a shot. Great catch.
One of those catches which you can watch again and again and again. And Will O'Rourke, well, he's got the Midas touch, hasn't he? Everything he's touching is turning to pure gold. And as one former Bears man departs, another one enters the middle. It's Ethan Brooks, the latest man to enter the fray for the Worcestershire Rapids. Again, he's having a tremendous season. 167 runs so far, striking at 140.33. And Ethan Brooks, you can never ever discount this man. Already has 150 to his name in this campaign. And that rounds out an amazing over for Yorkshire County Cricket Club. A 3rd wicket falling already in the power play. Worcestershire 37 for 3.
That's exactly what Yorkshire wanted to do. Put pressure on Worcestershire Rapids with early wickets. 4 overs bowled, 37 runs on the ball, 3 big wickets in the back, including of Adam Hose. I think Yorkshire at this stage would like to just make sure they have the dot ball pressure as always, making sure fielders in the right positions. There you go. You can see some field place change done. And who's coming on to bowl?
That'll be Will Sutherland coming on to bowl here from the Howard stand end for over number 5. First ball should just be a single here, clipped off the hips of Brett Oliveira. I mean, this would be some run chase, wouldn't it, for Worcestershire from this position? 38 for 3, and that run rate already 12.38. That's the requirements, with just 7 wickets left in the shed in what is a must-win game for Yorkshire. You can also make the argument for Worcestershire as well. Of course, they're currently sitting in 7th place. Yorkshire behind them in 8th position in the North Group. Really does feel like a pivotal encounter for both of these counties in terms of their respective group stage fortunes. It's Sutherland again here to Ethan Brooks. Guided off the bat face. There's a shot at the stumps there from James Wharton. Good diving stop on the backup. And that will just be a single. Good work in the field there from Matt Revis.
Good feeling that, and I think you can see, the experience of David Malan coming into the fray. He ran up to Will Sutherland, just trying to slow the game down a bit. People are trying to get more runs off him.
Well, that is a thumping shot from Brett D'Oliveira. Nonchalantly dispatches it for 6 runs, and just quietly, the Worcestershire captain going about his business very clinically so far. He moves on to 18, the visitors 45 for 3.
Yeah, the ball right in the slot there, really. Nothing much to do. Coming to the run of the ball and making sure.
Oh, that's a really deft shot. It's a lightning fast outfield here at Headingley, and that will be 4 more runs. So the Rapids inching ever closer to bringing up the 50. That run rate needs to be accelerating all the time here as it drops to just above 12, and the Rapids now 49 for 3.
Great hands there. Very good hands. Waited for the ball to come onto him. Glided between the third man and point. Good cricket.
And then very next delivery just turns that one around the corner, and that will be the 50 up for the men in black and blue. So Worcestershire 50 for 3. I mean, Brett D'Oliveira reminding us that it's Wimbledon season. Lovely little bottom hand as though he's returning a serve. Great shot that for the 4 runs. Can you imagine if the Rapids are to get back into this one? He needs to score very big indeed. Be no run there, so a dot ball to round out over number 5. Worcestershire 50 for 3.
Still going at 10 runs and over, 50 for 3. I think the name of the game now is to drop the hands of the wrist of the ball and make sure there's not much pace for the batters to work with. I've seen 2 balls now where they have dropped the wrist and there is not much pace, and the batters are not convinced that they can go through the line of the shot.
The other big question, Maroof, I'm going to ask you as a coach this time, because I'm a lover of spin bowling, and we haven't seen any spin as of yet, and we won't do in the power play because Will O'Rourke has ball in hand here from the Kirkstall Lane end. But when would you bring on the first over of spin? We'll touch upon that after this delivery from the New Zealander, and that will be a dot ball.
Good question that. I think David is also thinking exactly that when he wants spinners to come in. I think Jafar Chauhan would be my option. And looking at the way the wind's going across the ground, I would like to have him on this end where Will O'Rourke is bowling from, sorry. I think that would be the right area for him to come and try and keep the ball on one side of the wicket.
Well, here is O'Rourke again to D'Oliveira, who makes some room. Big swing, no connection on that one.
I think the message has gone through quite clearly there. If you see, bowlers are not bowling those fast balls anymore. They're dropping their wrist, and the ball's not coming onto the bat. And batters are now not convinced if they have enough power or enough pace on the ball to make their shots. Good bowling that.
It is very good bowling. Very, very intelligent stuff, this from the New Zealander. That one, uppercuts away. Is there a chance for the fielder coming across? Sticks out. The right arm almost in forlorn hope as it goes for 6 more runs, and Brett D'Oliveira dealing in boundaries here in the power play.
Not sure if that is a good ball really, but I think there was a plan there, because you see the third man is quite wide there. Where just throwing his bat at a ball that was pitched quite outside the off stump and then flowing all the way to the boundary. Good shot.
Oh, that one cracked. Really good bit of ground fielding that from the Yorkshire captain, David Milan. Means it will be a dot ball, and that is the way to go, isn't it, on this surface? We saw that at times in the first 20, taking the pace off, not going for those rapid bouncers, maybe just going for the slow ball bouncer, the back of the hand delivery. Taking pace off will get you some rewards.
Yorkshire will be happy to take the give away the ones. I think pace off is really working here. That puts a lot of pressure on the batters, especially to Brooks and De Oliveira. Something is going to give. They have to keep the pace up. It's at over 12 runs and over at the moment. Cat and mouse.
Definitely is. 12.49 is the requirement at this stage. This is some top-tier bowling from Will O'Rourke. I know he went for the 6 in that over, but you look at the figures, 2 for 14 from 2, and that is the end of the power play. The Rapids, 57 for 3. They still require 177 runs for the victory here at Headingley.
We have a change in bowling coming to the attack.
Here comes Jaffa Chauhan.
Jaffa Chauhan.
Called like an absolute master there, Maroof. Isn't it funny we were having that conversation and our wishes have been granted? We get to see some leg spin for the first time in the run chase, and I imagine you've seen a lot of Jaffa and the way in which he's developed and evolved his game. Just how impressive of a prospect is he in T20 cricket for the home side?
I like his preparation. I like his temperament. You know, he's a leg spinner. He knows he's going to go all over the park, but if he bowls well, he can make changes in the squad as well. So I know he is a wicket taker.
Well, here he is. First delivery is powerfully driven down the ground. Should just be a single there. D'Oliveira turned around. I don't think there was ever a 2 on that occasion as captain and bowler exchange a few words.
Yeah, he understands his game. You know, he will have his players and fielders in the right positions. He likes to bowl the wrong one as well, but he takes his time over it. You know, first few balls is where you can get to Jaffa because he's not too sure how it's coming out of his hand. But once he settles into a good rhythm, he will be a handful.
Certainly will be, and he's just marshalling his field here as Revis is brought across. Just placed into the circle in the cover region. Here is Chauhan to Ethan Brooks, who goes for the slog sweep straight away. Should just be a single. That's something to mention actually with Ethan Brooks. He's a very proficient player of the reverse sweep. So you may see this throughout this game, especially against the spin bowlers. He's not afraid to do it against pace either, but does love to utilise that option early on. As that one has been tonked into the east stand. That one's going all the way for 6. No doubt about that one from Brett D'Oliveira. Umpire has the arms aloft, and well, I'll tell you what, these 6s coming with great fluency off the bat of the Worcestershire captain.
Wow, great swing of the bat. The way the ball was pitched, I think it was a bit flighted. Not sure why Jaffa is bowling that ball, but great positions for the great shot for 06.
Well, how does Chauhan respond after that one? That's better, just fires that one in with a little bit more zip and vigour. It will just be a single as a result.
I think that's where he needs to keep the ball as well. You know, stump to stump line, not giving much away, not being a little greedy and flighting the ball. We don't need that at this stage.
Chauhan to Brooks again. Oh, and it's gone through. It's a misfield out there. A rare one from Will Luxton, and that will be 4 runs. We'll see the replay of this one. It was swept and swept hard from Ethan Brooks. Just couldn't get down with the long barrier. Will Luxton will have to dust himself off and pick his head up, of course. It's his runs which have put Yorkshire in such a strong position. Here is Chauhan again. There's the reverse sweep from Brooks. Will be cut off by Matt Milnes, and that will be a dot ball to round out the 7th over. It goes for 13 runs, and the Rapids are 70 for 3.
Good game so far. 7 overs, 70 runs, 10 runs in over. Worcestershire Rapids will still feel they're in the game. They have lost 3 early wickets, but that's not taking away the fact that they are still at 10 runs and over. These two players would look to take the game deep, as close as possible, really. What that would then do is try and build some pressure and hopefully wait for the bad balls and then have a couple of big overs, which could change the match either way.
They could do. It's such a fickle and volatile format, isn't it, T20 cricket? You think that you're well on top, and then all of a sudden an over goes for 24, 25 runs, and look, you're on the back foot and the opposition has impetus and momentum. So still work to be done here for Yorkshire, and as such, Dawid Malan goes to one of his strike bowling options. It will be Jordan Thompson here from the Kirkstall Lane end, bounding in with purpose here to Brett D'Oliveira, who again just deftly guides it down towards deep third, and that will be another single off the willow.
Good bowling change by Dawid Malan, getting Jordan Thompson in at this stage. One thing is assured when Jordan Thompson is bowling, no two balls are going to be the same. He tops his wrist and changes the pace quite nicely, to be honest. So I think it's a good battle now.
Well, he takes the pace off that one, goes down the leg side, and that will be a wide.
He got his radar wrong on that stage, but I think it's still the right ball to bowl. He has the right feel for it as well. He's left mid-wicket completely open, which means he's happy to give away the run there. But anything outside the off-stump would not be a good ball to bowl at this stage.
Well, that one is aerial from Brooks. Just evades the fielder, and it will be mopped up there by Dom Best, the second of the spin tandem. I imagine we'll see sooner rather than later, especially as we push a little bit further into these middle overs. I know that you almost identified him as one to watch, Maroof, a little bit earlier on. Big fan of Dom Best's bowling?
Yeah,
And he's just cracked again on the offside. Will be another single. Keeps that scoreboard moving along nicely here for the Worcestershire Rapids.
Yeah, coming back to Dom Best, I like his mindset. I like the way he plays the game, especially T20. He's not afraid to go for runs, but he will make sure he changes the pace as when he go along. And the right man next to Jordan Thompson as well, talking to him.
Thompson bangs that one in a little bit shorter, and that has been rifled by Ethan Brooks. Another thunderous shot, and yeah, these boundaries just beginning to flow with a little bit more consistency now for Worcestershire, as Brooks and D'Oliveira look to rebuild the run chase. Still 156 the requirement for the visiting side, but always a great sight, that, isn't it, for any batting unit. You see those boundaries coming along with great reliability and consistency, and just gives you that glimmer of hope. How does Thompson reply after that one? Takes the pace off, clever bit of bowling, and that right there, Maroof, is exactly what you identified. It's those clever and subtle variations from the seam bowler.
Exactly right, and I think this is a better ball than the previous two ones. This is actually following the batter as well, not giving the batter chance to move the arms or maneuver around the crease, which is why when they cramp the room, the easiest thing the batsman would do is take a single, and a single at this stage is good for Yorkshire.
It is. A dot ball would be even better, wouldn't it? Or a wicket at this stage. Build that pressure even more for the home side. Nice little shuffle down the wicket there from Brett D'Oliveira, who moves on to 41. And that is the end of over number 8. Worcestershire 80 for 3. The requirement 154 off the remaining 12 overs.
That's the end of the 8th over. Worcestershire Rapids are 80 for 3.
Dawid Malan doing the right thing here, not allowing the batters to settle and making changes after every over if need be. I think the modern day cricketer is prepared for it.
From the held stand end, Matt Mills.
Matt Mills coming back. I think he's bowled 3 overs from both the sides, really, isn't it? He's been used quite wisely. I think Malan is having that chat with him right now. All he needs to make sure is that he's creating enough pressure and not giving many boundary balls.
Most definitely, yeah. Matt Milnes 1 for 13 from his previous 2 overs in this contest. He looks dialed in at the moment, bounding in here to Brett D'Oliveira, who tries to muscle that away out towards deep mid-wicket. Will just be another single.
Good start to the over. Really good start to the over. The old cliche of you miss, I hit is completely in play with Matt at this point in time. And I do see him making a few changes as well in terms of pace.
Oh, big swing and no ding there from Ethan Brooks. You can see there he's just almost replaying the shot. He is looking to hack it away over towards the east stand, but to no avail.
Unless it's a slower one, I think Matt's gone away with that. That was right in the slot. Brooks' eyes must have lit up.
Here's take 2 as Brooks loads up. And that one is straight as an arrow, takes 1 or 2 bounces into the advertising hoardings, and that is 4 more runs off the bat of the Worcestershire all-rounder.
He got away with the previous ball, not this time. Same ball again, in the slot. Free hit for a batter at this stage, because they know the boundaries are not that big enough. There you go, right in the slot.
Yeah, a very aesthetically pleasing shot that from Ethan Brooks. How does Milnes respond? Takes the pace off, the field is in play, it will just drop short. And the Worcestershire batters do sprint through for 2 runs. Some good running there from the Rapids pairing as we see the replay on that one.
Better ball this time. Really good ball that. Going slightly wide from the hitting arc as well, allowing the batters fetch that ball, which is why it didn't make good connection. Good bowling that.
Well, Brooks' attempts to dig that one out was very full, if not a Yorker length delivery on that occasion from Matt Milnes. And this is Milnes using all of his T20 nous. Of course, he had that spell at Kent, played for Nottinghamshire before that, and now here up in Yorkshire. He's an experienced man. He's been desperately unlucky with injuries over the years, but 2021, that glorious season for the Spitfires, showed exactly what he's capable of. That one's a full toss though. There will be a chase on here for the fielder. It's Jordan Thompson.
Could be a no ball, I think.
Mopping up, indeed it is given as a no ball. So this will be a free hit. Coming up for Ethan Brooks as the Rapids move on to 91 for 3, and yeah, this now turning into quite an expensive over from Matt Milnes. Already gone for 11 runs from the first 5 legal deliveries. It's Milnes charging in here to Ethan Brooks. Brooks winds up for the big shot, and there's absolutely no doubting the outcome of that one. Sails over the rope for 6 runs, and that is exactly the kind of over that Worcestershire were hoping for. Take a look at that from Ethan Brooks as the Rapids move on to 97 for 3 after 9 overs.
Yeah, Matt will be disappointed with that over. I think he was in the fray for the first 3 balls, and then I'm sure, there was something which was not right in that execution of what he wanted to do. A couple of balls, but followed with the no ball, 6 runs off that, and then that makes 11 run over. For me right now, I think Jaffa Chauhan is bowling from the right end. The wind is going to help, not many balls curling over the fence.
Yeah, it feels like Jaffa's got a big role to play, doesn't it, here in this game? And of course, we hope that everybody tuning into the YouTube live stream, we hope that you're enjoying our coverage here on Yorkshire TV. Jaffa Chauhan bowls here to Brett D'Oliveira. Slog sweep will just go for 1 run. Reminder, if you haven't already liked the live stream and subscribe to the channel, please feel free to do so. We're giving you free coverage of all of Yorkshire's men's and women's matches in 2025. We've got a great production team and a wonderful group of camera operators as well, so Every subscription, every like really does go a long way. Here is Chauhan again, and you can see the intent from Ethan Brooks. Got into an early position for the reverse, but that one will be signalled as a wide.
Interesting piece of play there, to be honest. I thought he had turned to be a left-hander, and then, unless it was away from his arc, should have still been called a legal ball.
Here is Chauhan again. That one just dropped into the onside. They think about coming back for a second, but wisely decide against it. And as you can see there on the live stream, if you scan that QR code, you can also vote for your Vertu Player of the Match. Plenty of candidates so far. We've seen a great bowling display from Will O'Rourke, and that's terrific catch. And of course, the batting a little bit earlier on from James Wharton, 88 from 47 deliveries, and Will Luxton also smashing 81 brilliant runs. Here is Chauhan to Brooks. Sharp running that. Quick single taken. Worcestershire now move on to 102 for 3.
Chauhan has bowled well so far, not conceded any boundaries. 3 balls halfway through the over. I know what Oliver was thinking at this point in time, trying to get underneath that ball.
Gives that one more flight again. They think about scampering back for a second. But we've seen this all night long so far. The ground fielding from Yorkshire, aside from that earlier misfield, has been very, very good indeed. They're operating as a pack, as a swarm, and attacking the cricket ball. That's what you want as a bowler. You want to be backed up by your fielding units. Here is Chauhan again. That one punched off the back foot. Down towards Dom Bess, and that will be another single.
Excellent over so far from Chauhan. He needs to come out of it nicely without controlling a boundary. There could be a chance coming.
There could be. Goes back to the cliche of the action ball, doesn't it? It won't be that one, because that has drifted down the leg side for a wide. Chauhan will have to re-bowl that delivery.
Yorkshire seem to have the right players in the right areas, fielding-wise, etc. as well.
Well, I can see right there, Maroof, your reaction to that bit of bowling from Jaffa Chauhan. It's a really good response, and that is the end of the 10th over. The Rapids 106 for 3. Brett D'Oliveira on 46 and Ethan Brooks on 28, as we see for the second time this evening the Vertu Carpool Karaoke. I think that's pretty much a universal song around the United Kingdom, isn't it? A little bit of Oasis, of course. We're seeing the reunion tour.
Yeah, the boys over the Pennines have done well for themselves, should we say.
Even the youngsters getting involved on the Vertu Carpool Karaoke. Great to see so many Yorkshire fans, young and old, in attendance. And a reminder that there is still one home match day left here in the 2025 Vitality T20 Blast on Sunday the 13th of July. It's a double header right here at Headingley. As that first ball is pummeled away through the covers. It was a full toss from Jordan Thompson, and will be 2 runs there off the bat of Brett D'Oliveira.
Good percentage cricket by Worcestershire Rapid. They are taking their chances in the first 2 or 3 balls, see if they can get over to the boundaries. If not, they're not losing their shape, just keeping themselves in the game, ticking away with 6 and 7s and over, hoping that the odd boundary would take them over 10. So that's smart cricket.
Very smart cricket indeed. They're just giving themselves a glimmer of hope, aren't they? With this partnership currently stands at 71. It's Thompson here to D'Oliveira. Flails at that delivery. Plays it very square, and that will be another single. The Worcestershire captain just 1 run away from what would be a thoroughly deserved half-century. Thompson to Brooks. Brooks winds up for the big shot. This one could be out. Will it be parried back in? It was a tremendous effort from James Wharton sprinting across. But in the end, the outcome is another 6 from Ethan Brooks. Great effort that, though, from the Yorkshire fielder.
Great bowling as well, Jordan. Followed the batter. And it's very important to know which end you're bowling the overs from as well. The wind did not assist Jordan Thompson in this case. The wind assisted the ball over the boundary rope, I think, but that was good bowling. That wasn't a good contact either from the batter, so I think Brooks is lucky to be still there.
Let's wait and see what Jordan Thompson can concoct with the next delivery. Here he is, bowling to Brooks. Just second guesses himself there with the run. Of course, the fielder up in the circle would have been a very tight single had they have taken it. Just quietly, Ethan Brooks moves on to 34. He's hit 3 4s and 2 6s. Certainly looks like a wicket which Yorkshire would love to prize at this stage. Here is Thompson. Oh, that's a wonderful delivery.
Once again, Jordan Thompson coming into his own. 5 different deliveries from Yorkers, short balls, swings outside the off stump. Very smart bowling that. Great Yorker.
It's almost the lost art form, isn't it, in modern T20 cricket?
Yeah, we talk about being brave. Bowling a Yorker, you got to be brave.
Oh, that's flashed off the inside edge of Brooks's bats, evades Jonny Bairstow, and that will be a boundary to round out the over. Slightly fortuitous on that occasion for Ethan Brooks, but Worcestershire won't mind one iota. The Rapids, 119 for 3 after 11. They still require 115 runs to win off the final 9 overs. Just seeing there the crowd shots. Plenty of fancy dress in the Western Terrace tonight. Great to see so many fans in attendance here at Headingley as well, and thankfully the radar looked apocalyptic a little bit earlier on, but the cricketing gods are shining favourably on us as the floodlights take effect. No rain as of yet, and we hope that stays the case. Good delivery that from Jaffa Chauhan.
Yeah, he's come back to the right end. I think this end favours him, and I think this is the second over that he's bowling from this end, and he seems to be in control. Interesting passage of play coming up.
And this will be the moment for Brett D'Oliveira. They think about coming back for the second. It will just be the single, and that is a richly deserved 50 for the Worcestershire captain. Very low-key celebration, but this has been a terrific knock nonetheless. Comes off of 34 deliveries, includes 3 4s and 3 6s to boot. Really nice stuff. Here is Chauhan to Brooks. Brooks goes for the reverse. There's an appeal, and he's been given. Trapped in front of the stumps. Brooks looking to utilise that air of enterprise and innovation that he's renowned for. But Jaffa Chauhan gets the breakthrough. The partnership is broken on 83 runs. And the Worcestershire Rapids now 120 for 4.
Smart bowling by Jaffa. You know, he saw the batter trying to change his hands around it. Went a little slower and shorter, not giving time for the batter to do anything. Looked a little high, but I'll take that.
Well, Yorkshire certainly will, and that's still been an excellent knock, that, from Ethan Brooks. Said it beforehand, but he's almost played the perfect foil to Brett D'Oliveira as he goes for 38 runs.
Jaffa Chauhan has broken the partnership of 83 runs there, which could be in our favour for Yorkshire at this stage.
There's one excellent sweeper of the cricket ball departs, another one enters because Gareth Roderick has got excellent sweep shots at his disposal. Very strong on the reverse, has a crunching slog sweep as well. Also likes to carve it away out towards deep backward points. Here he is against Jaffa Chauhan. First one is a full toss as he works that one through mid-wickets. And that is a testament to the lightning-like pace of this outfield at Headingley. As it just zips away for 4 runs, and good start that for Gareth Roderick. Begins with a boundary.
Yeah, Jaffa won't be happy with that ball. Full toss, middle and leg stump, easy pickings that.
Yeah, just gave that one a little bit too much flight. Did the Yorkshire leg spinner. That one a lot better. Just keeping Gareth Roderick nice and true for the single.
David Malan might be thinking of the changes from the other end. Looks like Dom Best should be coming in at some stage.
And that right there, I mean, we've seen it all night long from the Worcestershire batters. Some sharp running. They turn that one into a very sharply ran 2. So that is the end of over number 12. The Rapids 127 for 4. They require 107 to win off the remaining 48 deliveries.
Player of the match. Let us know your thoughts on who has played the best for your Yorkshire team tonight by scanning the QR code now.
Match beautifully poised right now. Very good. 6 wickets in hand. This could go either way. The next few overs would be crucial for either teams.
They could be. It feels as though D'Oliveira is probably the key wicket. At this stage, he's the more set of the Worcestershire pairing, but Gareth Roderick, he's also a very punching, hard-hitting cricketer. And here he is on strike against Will O'Rourke, who starts off with a wide down the offside.
Not a good start that, but I think I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to keep the ball on one side of the wicket, probably throw change of paces as well. He's got 3 players in the ring, bowling to his field.
Very nicely disguised short ball that from Will O'Rourke. Interesting stance that Roderick possesses. I mean, we see it a lot now with the modern T20 cricketer. Very leg side heavy, looking to open up those gaps and release the arms.
Yeah, the hips are out of the way. Actually, it's just free flowing of the arms. It's not having anything which is telling him that, you know, it's a blind spot. You know, anything in front, he would swing hard at it.
Well, on that occasion, he goes for finesse as opposed to powders. Gareth Roderick. Again, we speak about experience. Of course, used to play for Gloucestershire. Made that move to Worcestershire a few seasons back, and his T20 game has come an awful long way as Gareth Roderick.
Seems to be in control. He's not, you know, throwing the alarm bells out yet. I think the Oliveira and him having a good chat there in the middle, trying to plan the next few balls to see, you know, which way the game's going, and then before they can strike into an attack.
Well, almost goes into the left palm of Matt Revis. Roderick is sent scampering back. Been in the wars tonight as Gareth Roderick. Got hit a couple of times while he was wicket-keeping a little bit earlier on as Yorkshire amassed a mammoth 233 for 6. And as a result, the Rapids still require 104 as the required run rate is just a touch under 14 runs per over. Attempted ramp shot there from Gareth Roderick, who is just hobbling about a little bit. It'll be a leg by. You can definitely see he's just pulled up slightly as the Rapids keeper. Bit of soreness.
Yeah, I think smart shot. He was trying to play the paddle because he knows there's nobody behind fine leg. So because Will O'Rourke is bowling on one side of the wicket, he's anticipated where the ball's going to come, really, and then trying to free his arms, getting underneath the line of the ball. Smart play. I think that's Malan has seen that, and now he's asked him to bowl a different length.
Yep, change in the field as well. Jaffa Chauhan comes into the circle at short third. That one again hung well outside the off stump of D'Oliveira, will be a wide. And in terms of the other change in the fielder has been pushed on from the circle up towards a wideish long off.
Yes.
In terms of the rest of the field, very much heavy on the leg side in terms of the boundary riders. Also got a deep point out towards the western terraces, Will O'Rourke. Just in case there's a little bit of a miscue here from Brett D'Oliveira. Well, has that one been miscued? Chance for the fielder, should be a simple catch and taken. Will O'Rourke has his third wicket of the piece. It's an excellent catch from Dom Bess. And Yorkshire now just 5 wickets away from a crucial victory here in the Vitality T20 Blast. Worcestershire now 132 for 5, and Brett D'Oliveira, the Worcestershire captain, has to go for 53 from 36 balls. It was a great knock, included 3 4s, 3 6s, but his race is run. And Maroof, that is a huge wicket in the wider context of this run chase.
Big wicket, that. Very big wicket. I think credit goes to Malan as well. He knew that outside the off-stump line wasn't working. He changed the field. He made sure that the balls changed the line as well. And down best, safe as houses there. Never seen him drop many.
There he is. He's an exceptional fielder. Is Dom Bess. And Will O'Rourke, figures of 3 for 18. He's still gone over remaining after this, and of course this final delivery of his third over. What a way this is for him to leave Headingley. Here he is bowling to Ben Dwarshus. First delivery that the Australian quick faces will go for a leg by. So Worcestershire 133 for 5. They still require 101 runs for the victory off the final 7 overs.
Great over for Yorkshire, that. Great over, getting the big wicket as well. I think Yorkshire would be happier at this after 7 more overs to go. More importantly, what happens next? I think it would be Dom Bess from this end. He tries and fire the balls in expected as well, and then make sure Dwarshus doesn't get underneath it. Roderick and Dwarshus now would be looking to put some pressure on the bowlers.
Well, they simply have to, and here is Dom Bess then, for the first time in this game, bowling from the Kirkstall Lane end. So the left-handed Dwarshus, who straight away climbs into that one and begins proceedings with a 6, which has been caught in the crowd. Take a bow, the man in the grey bobble hats. Great stuff there.
Fantastic catch, that.
Well, we spoke about Dom Bess being safe as houses. Let's take a look at the replay on this one. Deep into the stands. Oh, simple as you like.
One-handed. Should be wearing the Yorkshire Blues and being inside the ring at the moment.
Well, it's almost infectious, isn't it? We've seen Yorkshire taking every single catch, and this Headingley crowd also joining in on the fun. Of course, that is a 6 against the home side, so Worcestershire 139 for 5. How does Bess respond after that one? Fires it in towards the pad there of the left-handed Dwarshus. Will be a single down the ground. We'll also have a little bit of an update from the other games in the North Group in an over or so's time, especially keeping up to date with the game taking place at the Riverside between Durham and Nottinghamshire. Certainly has implications in the top 4 hunt. Roderick looks to give himself some room, and safely pouched by Jonny Bairstow. Clever bowling, really smart option that from Dom Bess.
Very clever bowling, slowed the pace down as well. No room again to the batter. He's conceded the 6 of the first ball. He's fighting his way back into the over as well. He's given 8 runs so far.
Well, this feels like it could be one of those action balls here between Bess and Dwarshus. Yorker length delivery again. That's a top tier delivery and a great utilisation of the variety from Dom Bess, but sharply ran for 2 runs, keeps that scoreboard moving along. Rapids 143 for 5. Best to Dwarshus again, who uses his feet. Ball just evades Jonny Bairstow. Misses everything, and that will be the end of an eventful first over for Dom Bess. It goes for 10 runs. Worcestershire 143 for 5 after 14 overs.
Comedy of errors there. I think Dom Bess fired it right in, saw him coming out, and that's a 6. Looking at the wrong ball there. But I guess at this stage, 10 runs and over from Bombess. Take it. Great catch. Great catch in the crowd again. I might be going down and taking his autograph.
We've seen a few of those this season, in fairness. It's a very good crowd here at Headingley. Yeah. Of course, it's a testament, isn't it, to the cricketing pedigree of this great county as well.
Very passionate crowds, very passionate. They'll be there through thick and thin. They will be there. They love Yorkshire and Yorkshire cricket as well. Look at the kids, they're having fun.
Oh, they're loving life, aren't they?
Interesting footwork, but I'll take it.
There will be a change in the bowling here from the Howard stand end. It'll be Will Sutherland, who's currently gone wicketless for 29 runs from his first 2 overs. First ball is hacked away by Gareth Roderick, who sends his partner back. That'll just be a single.
If I would be the Worcestershire Rapids batter right now, I would be looking to take as much chances as possible on Sutherland. He's gone for 30 runs of 2.1 balls, which is telling me that he's not having a good day, and he might be under pressure and feeling it as well. That's what I think what Mala is telling him right now as well. What's the plan? What's the execution we have to do? And I'll be sticking to our plans. So it'll be interesting 5 balls coming up.
We're just seeing here a little bit of shuffling around with regards to the field placements. Now Milnes comes back into the circle at short third. Here is Sutherland bowling over the wickets to the left-handed Dwarshus, and that one has been muscled away out towards the deep square leg boundary in front of the Western Terrace. 4 more runs for Ben Dwarshus, and this is what he does. He's not the easiest man to get out, is the Aussie.
And looking at that field, when Dwarshus knows anything hitting the stumps, he's going to have a free flow at it, which is exactly what he's done.
Rapids inching ever closer to bringing up 150, and this might be it. There's a chase on here for the fielder, and again, that is some smart work out in the deep. It's Matt Milnes on that occasion who scampers through. Restricts it to just 2 runs, so the Rapids bring up the 150 for the loss of 5 wickets. Still 5.3 overs remain to get these 84 runs. The required run rate 15.27. That one carved away, and carved away majestically by Ben Dwarshus, who's dealing in 4s and 6s at the minute. Just take a look at that one.
Beautiful batting, that. Beautiful. Expecting where the ball is supposed to be. Jonny Bairstow making sure that they are doing what they're doing. I expected Sutherland to have a couple of change of paces as well in this over. Looks like all's coming down at the same pace.
Here is Sutherland again to Dwarshus. There was a slight half chance for the fielder coming across. That will be 4 runs carved away by Ben Dwarshus. Inches away from that 6th wicket. The outcome is 4 more for the Rapids.
Yeah, game of margins, you know. Not the correct line, conceding runs. This is a free ball now for Worcestershire.
Well, it is. That partnership already stands at 26 for the 6th wicket. Here is Sutherland again to Dwarshus. Dwarshus pumps that down the ground, up towards the practice nets for 6 more. Worcestershire are not giving up the ghost yet.
Great shot. Once again, expecting where the balls are coming through to him as well. Kids having a great time in the crowd as well. I think they're happy seeing the sixes up there. I'm not sure whether they are the Yorkshire sixes or the other for the opposition, but I guess the crowd's still loving it. Atmosphere always great at Yorkshire.
It is, and we saw there the club cricket badge. We've seen plenty here this evening. Seen a couple of St Chad's badges in the crowd tonight. It's one of those instantly recognisable ones. Of course, all those players from the Yorkshire pathway who had that lovely moment during the innings break as well. Always great to see the next generation celebrated here at Headingley. Jordan Thompson prepares to bowl here from the Kirksall Lane end. 70 required off the final 30 deliveries. It's Thompson bowling here to Roderick. He flicks that away. Should be at least one, and indeed it will be.
The coach in me tells me that if there ever I need a wicket, it's this over. 69 of 29 in this format of the game with 5 wickets in hand. And look at the kids. Look at the kids. True Yorkshire flavour coming out from Worksop College.
Well, they are enjoying themselves, and who wouldn't be enjoying this at the moment? It's been an electrifying game of cricket. You still fancy Yorkshire though to get the job done with a wicket or two. So that one again is just popped down the ground. Should just be a single, indeed it is. The ball was zipped back in with great ferocity there by Will Sutherland. So the equation 68 to win off the final 4.4 overs. Just looking at the DLS as well, 174 was the par score at the start of this over, so Worcestershire not actually too far behind when it comes to that. Here is Thompson to Roderick once more, takes the pace off. Marvellous stuff that from Jordan Thompson, bang on the money.
3 balls, 3 runs, as good as 3 dot balls. This ball here could be an event.
Certainly could be. Well, let's see what Jordan Thompson has in the locker here, because Ben Dwarshus is such a powerful player on the leg side. He's got plenty of protection. Out towards the east stand, here is Jordan Thompson to Dwarshus. It's a full toss. Doesn't get the desired connection at all, and that will just be a single, but you can see there from Thompson trying to almost go for the double bluff. Hangs it outside the off stump of the left-hander.
It's a game of chess at the moment.
It is, yeah. It is, it's cat and mouse, isn't it? This is proper T20 cricket. I mean, it's been a fascinating game, and a reminder, folks, that tickets are still available for Yorkshire's final home games of the season. That taking place, a double header on Sunday the 13th of July. Here is Thompson to Roderick. Won't beat the infield, will just be another single, and Jordan Thompson, cool as a cucumber at the minute. Top over this from the Yorkshire death bowler.
Excellent. And I think I like the way Malan has walked up to him and asked him that, what are we doing this ball? I think it's a crucial ball. 5 balls, 5 runs in the context of the game means nothing, but this is a ball which has to go well. Jordan Thompson has to come out of the go over quite quickly and nicely.
Well, final wall, it's a rank full toss. It's going, it's gone for Ben Dwarshus. Yet another 6 off the blade of the Australian. And that just gives them some hope. It was an outstanding over up until that point. Thompson looking for the Yorker length delivery. And there is the jeopardy of that variation. Climbed into by Ben Dwarshus, holds the pose. And Worcestershire finish off the over in some style. And just take a look at that comparison. Yorkshire were 176 for 3. The Worcestershire Rapids 175 for 5. This one could be going down to the wire.
Crowds loving the atmosphere. They know what's coming. The next 24 balls will decide the fate of either of the sides.
It could do. It really could do, Maroof. So tight at the moment in the North Group. Both of these teams absolutely desperate to get some more points on the board. And here is Matt Milnes bowling to Roderick. Starts off with a dot ball. What a night it's been so far for Matt Milnes. 1 for 30. Slightly expensive at times, but he's done his job. Also keeping it tight in those earlier overs. It's just the previous one which went for a few runs. Can he round out his spell? Take Yorkshire one step closer to these 4 points. Flashed off the outside edge. Stopped by a diving Jonny Bairstow. Back-to-back dot balls. This is exactly what the doctor ordered for the White Rose.
Absolutely right. Matthew Milnes must be taking in all the things that he has done in training so far, thinking about what's the best ball that he bowls under pressure, where he needs to be, and what the game situation is. And at the moment, he's come up with 2 good Yorkers outside the off stump.
Will it be third time lucky here for Gareth Roderick? Goes for the attempted scoop shot. It's another dot ball. And Matt Milnes with ice in the veins at the minute. Really piling on the pressure here with every single dot ball. That required run rate hops by at least 1 run. Now stands at 16.86 per over. 59 still required for the visitors. Milnes to Roderick. I mean, this is one of the best death over bowling performances that we've seen from Matt Milnes. This is top draw.
Sitting on top of my 17th over, if I have my player bowl 4 dot balls, I'll take it any day.
Well, it is. I mean, this is so crucial. And there you go. That illustrates my points. That required run rate now jumps up to almost 18. It's a nightmare scenario for Worcestershire. Roderick has to get bat on ball. It's gone a mile in the air. Should be an easy catch and is taken. Matt Milnes lets out a vigorous roar of celebration, and Worcestershire do lose another wicket. This time it's the wicketkeeper batter, Gareth Roderick, who departs. The Rapids 175 for 6 in the 17th over, so 4 dot balls and a wicket. Matt Milnes take a bow.
Great bowling that. He knew what the batter was supposed to do. He had 4 balls. He knew he was coming at him. Saw him coming wide. Go even wider. There you go, Jordan Thompson. Does that in training every day, so nothing wrong with that.
No, that is a very easy catch for one of the safest pairs of hands in this Yorkshire team. Jordan Thompson makes no mistake. Now the former Yorkshire man, Matthew Waite, enters the middle. Can Matt Milnes finish off this over? Yes, he can. It's a wicket maiden for Matt Milnes, who finishes with magnificent figures of 2 for 30 from his 4 overs. And that could be the game-defining moment. A maiden over from Matt Milnes, a wicket maiden at that. I mean, Maroof, there's not much more we can add to that in terms of superlatives and adjectives. That is colossal for Yorkshire.
A massive over in the context of the game. And rightly so, all his mates running towards him, giving him a high five, letting him know that what a phenomenal over that was. To bowl a wicket maiden on the 17th over of the match. That's incredible.
It is.
Well done, Matt Milnes. You deserve it. Of all the injuries that you've been through, paid off. All the recovery.
Well, here is Will O'Rourke then, to bowl his final over of the piece from the Kirkstall Lane end, bowling here to Ben Dwarshus. First one jams in a pinpoint Yorker. They've got to scurry back for 2. There'll be a shot at the stumps. And they do hurry through for the second run. It's funny, we had the conversation about Matt Milnes. He had 5 wickets with an 8.1 economy rate before this game. And we said that would be great. He's finished with an ER of 7.5 runs per over. So, yeah, Matt Milnes take a bow. Very good work that's from the Yorkshire seam bowler. Here is O'Rourke around the wicket to the left-handed Dwarshus, who winds up for the big shot. Dom Bess. Well, he hurried across, and that will just be a single. So Worcestershire 178 for 6, 56 still required off the final 16 deliveries, and the required run rate now stands at 21 per over. It's going to take a big effort, this, if the visitors are to get over the line.
Interesting stage of the game now.
Well, that one has been skied. Fielder underneath it. Oh, that is absolutely magnificent. All night long, Yorkshire have been a cut above the rest with their fielding. James Wharton this time, the man who takes a quite spectacular diving catch, low in front of him, doesn't even celebrate, just another day at the office. And let's take a look at the replay of this one.
Didn't connect, wind against him, ball swirling in the air. James Wharton steadies up, great diving catch. Nothing else I can say there. That is one excellent catch. Slow ball rising up in the air. James Wharton trying to get underneath it.
Well, that just sums up Yorkshire's night, doesn't it? Every single catch has been taken. Let's just take a look at this again. The anticipation from James Wharton. That is how you take a catch. Very low-key celebration. I'll be celebrating that with a lot more vigour. Here is Will O'Rourke. He's on for a 5-wicket haul here as he bowls to Tom Taylor. This could be the moment, and it will be. It's a 5-wicket haul for Will O'Rourke, a richly deserved one for the New Zealand seam bowler who gets mobbed by his teammates. And Yorkshire now just 2 wickets away from a crucial victory on home soil. The Rapids 178 for 8, and Will O'Rourke is on another hat-trick.
Incredible passage of play. We've seen 10 balls, we've seen 3 wickets, and we've seen 2 runs. How quickly that game has changed. Worcestershire require 24 runs in over now.
Well, it looks like Mount Everest to climb at this stage for the Worcestershire Rapids. And Ben Allison, it's not his T20 debut, it is his first T20 game batting for the Worcestershire Rapids though. And now you can hear the buzz of Headingley as Will O'Rourke prepares to bowl the hat-trick ball. Here to Ben Allison. What has the Kiwi seamer got in the locker? It's O'Rourke to the Worcestershire tail ender, digs it out, runs through for the single. I mean, this is electrifying stuff from Will O'Rourke. 5 for 22. Still has 1 delivery remaining.
Last 10 minutes has been all Yorkshire. The way they have bowled from Matt Mills and now to Will O'Rourke, taking a bundle of wickets here as well, needs to finish off well.
Well, how can he finish off? Looking for that 6th wicket, takes the pace off. Big swing from Dwarshus to no avail, and Will O'Rourke departs to a sea of applause. Career best figures for the New Zealand international. The previous best were 4 for 23. And here tonight at Headingley, in his final home appearance for the White Rose, he finishes with spectacular figures of 5 for 22. Will O'Rourke, take a bow.
Fantastic bowling, 5 for 22. Great way to sign off
Returning to the attack for Yorkshire
for his last appearance.
Number 44, Jordan Thompson.
Last 2 overs has really got the game in Yorkshire's way.
Well, here is Jordan Thompson bowling here to Ben Allison. Will be a dot ball, and now it appears as though Yorkshire closing in on what would be a monumental victory in terms of kick-starting their campaign. In terms of the other results in the North Group, well, we've got one to tell you about up at the Riverside where Durham have beaten Nottinghamshire. We'll update you on the other game as well as Thompson bowls here to Allison. And this could be a wicket. It will be a catch. Worcestershire now 9 down. Simple take for Matt Milnes. Well, now these are just the final rights for the Rapids, who are 179 for 9. Allison, the latest man to go for 1 run from 3 deliveries. And Fateh Singh, the last man, now enters the middle. Maroof, take me through this bowling display from Yorkshire. Of course, this would have been a top-tier run chase if Worcestershire were to get 234, but the bowling of Milnes and O'Rourke, Thompson as well. I mean, this has just been a masterclass on home soil.
looks like they came up with a plan. The plan was to bowl those hard Yorkers outside the off stump, and they all stuck to it. All they did in the middle was just change the pace and let Worcestershire come at them. Looks to have worked for them.
Thompson to Singh. Well, that's one of the shots of the night. Sailing towards the scoreboard. Goes all the way for 6, and, well, it begs the question, where was Fateh Singh a little bit earlier on?
Well, that's all guns blazing really. Fateh giving himself room. Thompson following him as well. Opens the face of the bat. Good shot.
Very, very good shots indeed. In terms of the other game in the North Group, I'll keep you up to date with that one after this delivery from Jordan Thompson to Fateh Singh. Well, that one has gone a mile up in the air. It would be a difficult chance for the fielder. One bounce over the rope for 4 into the stands, and Fateh Singh, well, 10 off 2, striking at 500.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the right ball to bowl to him at this stage. I will still be looking to attack the stumps. Everybody's in the field, in the ring.
Jordan Thompson it is then to Fateh Singh. Just about scooped away by Jonny Bairstow, so they will run through for the bye. In terms of one of the other matches taking place in the North Group this evening, the Bears have beaten the Foxes of Leicestershire by 6 wickets at Grace Road, so that is another victory on the board for the West Midlands outfits. Of course, in terms of this game, it would be Yorkshire's 3rd victory of the campaign. It's Thompson to Dwarshus. Will just be 1. Oh, in fact, it's an overthrow. It will be 2. Not that it really matters at this stage, though, because by my maths, Worcestershire require more than 36 off the final over. The equation 43 from the final 6 deliveries, so this will be a victory for Yorkshire. And what a week it's been for Yorkshire County Cricket Club. We saw the county championship match, that victory against Essex up at York Cricket Club. They come here to Headingley on home soil and they get a crucial victory here to really kick-start this next block of Vitality T20 Blast fixtures. It will be Will Sutherland then with the final over from the Kirkstall Lane end. Bowling here to Fateh Singh. And Singh winds up for the big shot. Fielder should be underneath it. And it's taken. That is that. Dom Best takes the catch. Will Sutherland wraps it up. And Yorkshire have beaten Worcestershire in what was a must-win game for the White Rose. Maroof, take me through that. It's a 42-run victory for the home side. And that was clinical towards the end from Will O'Rourke. He finishes off with career best figures of 5 for 22. Matt Milnes with that maiden over in the 17th, picked up that wicket as well. And of course the bowling at the death from Jordan Thompson and Will Sutherland. Exactly what this cricket club needed at this stage of the season.
Great game of cricket that. It's the old cliche, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, you know. Getting the 3 early wickets wasn't easy. There was an 18-19 run partnership in the middle of the game as well. And then the last 3 overs, Yorkshire came up with a plan of making sure that they were bowling those wide Yorkers in change of pace. And Will O'Rourke, Matt Mills, and now Jordan Thompson come and finish the game off. Excellent stuff. Great win for Yorkshire. I know they have to go for 6 wins in a row. They've got 1, 5 more to go.
That's the spirit, isn't it? To be honest, at this stage, that is exactly the equation for Yorkshire, but this is a big way to get a result on the board. And yeah, Will O'Rourke, 5 for 22. Maroof, let's just go through the game because, of course, so many performances we could touch upon. I imagine that Will O'Rourke has been awarded the Vertu Player of the Match, so we'll be hearing, we imagine, from him sooner rather than later when he talks to Richard Graves pitch side. But in terms of that game, just pick it apart and analyse how Yorkshire got this victory, because it started with some outstanding batting from Will Luxton and James Woodard.
Yeah, the game flowed in ebbs and flows, really. You know, we had the Yorkshire stalwarts of David Malan and Jonny Bairstow coming up at the top as well. It was not their day, but the youngsters of Yorkshire, they are coming through the ranks. Will and they just batted and made sure that they took the game deep, getting 223 runs at the end of 20 overs, making sure that we had wickets in hand so that they could explode at the back end of it was fantastic. I think it was a record score for us against Worcestershire again, so it was fantastic to see. And then they started off well with 3 wickets, laxed a bit, and then suddenly the big partnership, and then at the end of 15 overs, 176 for 5, playing 176 for 5, which meant that it was anybody's game. And then Yorkshire once again do what Yorkshire does best, under the crunch, making sure the game's done. But yeah, great win for Yorkshire.
Yeah, great analysis there, Maroof. And I believe we have got the Vertu player of the match, Will O'Rourke. So we'll throw to him and Richard Graves at pitch side.
Edge, I've got alongside me Will O'Rourke. Will, 5 for 22, astonishing figures. What was it like out there this evening?
Yeah, it was cool. We obviously had a massive total on the board, so they're obviously going to have to go from ball one. And I was lucky enough to come away with the treats today, but I think the boys bowled well and built a bit of pressure, and someone had to get the reward.
Talk us through that first over, because you start with 2 wickets in 2 balls. You don't get the hat-trick, but then you take a stunning catch as well. Everything you touch tonight seems to turn to gold there for a while.
Yeah, one of those days, you just have a thought at the top of your mark. I bowled enough, got the first ball, it just came off, and then second one maybe a little bit lucky to just chuck it out there, and then the one just stuck in the hand. It was nice.
A word for the batters as well, particularly Will Luxton, the player of the match with 81. James Wharton with 88 as well, gave you a tremendous platform.
Yeah, it was a classy innings from those two, I think. Obviously lost a couple early, and then for those two young fellas to consolidate for us and get us to a massive total, it was awesome.
At the toss this evening, skipper David Malan said to me, it's not about finishing the group stage well, it's still managing to qualify. How much belief is there in this group of players, and how much belief does a performance like that give you?
Yeah, 100%. We had a chat a couple of days ago before we started up the T20s again that we had a massive chance here, and we got such a talented group here that we just got to believe, we got to go out there and we got to obviously win some games. So great start tonight, and we keep the ball rolling hopefully.
Absolutely. On a personal note, on a team note, that's a fantastic performance. Well played. Will O'Rourke with 5 for 22 from 4 overs. Yorkshire get over the line, winning by 41 runs. Their T20 blast hopes are still very much alive and kicking.
Well, a fantastic interview there, conducted by Richard Graves with your Vertu player of the match, Will O'Rourke. Career best figures for the New Zealand seam bowler in what was a must-win game for the White Rose of Yorkshire. They move on to 12 points in the table. It's still an uphill battle, but this will give the group tremendous confidence heading into that game against Derbyshire at the Queen's Park Oval in Chesterfield. So, Maroof, just before we say our goodbyes and we leave the wonderful people at home with a look at the highlights, take me through that game, and in terms of the performance as a whole here for Yorkshire, just how big of a confidence boost is this heading into the next few games?
Absolutely. I think a great boost, coming up back from the 4-day win as well, and now coming onto the game that matters the most. I think Yorkshire does well when there's a lot on each game. If it's a must-win situation, the best of Yorkshire comes out in the players, etc. as well. Good to note that the seniors didn't do much in this game. It was the youngsters that put it through. So I think they will probably having that chat with the seniors in the dressing room, saying, when are you guys are going to come and deliver? But having said that, a phenomenal win for Yorkshire, and I think a good big step in the right direction in terms of momentum for this game.
It most certainly is. And just a little bit of a recap as we see the highlights of the Yorkshire innings. The home side racking up a monster 233 for 6 from their 20 overs. Will Luxton scoring 81 from 47, and James Wharton continuing his outstanding run of form against the Worcestershire Rapids with 88 from 47. Also saw some quick-fire contributions from Will Sutherland and Jordan Thompson towards the lower end of the batting order. In response, Isaac Mohammed and Brett D'Oliveira got the Rapids off to a lightning fast start, but some terrific bowling from Will O'Rourke, who finished with career best figures of 5 for 22, and Matt Milnes with 2 for 30 ultimately got the job done for Yorkshire. So we'll leave you with the highlights here on Yorkshire TV from myself, Aaron Viles, from my wonderful co-commentator Maroof Khan, from Ben Cliff and Michael McCann. We hope that you've enjoyed our coverage, and we'll see you again on Sunday the 13th of July for the double header against Northamptonshire and Derbyshire. We wish you a very good night.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to have a little extra money for your holiday? If you buy any used car from the 4th to the 14th of July, we'll give you an extra £500 over and above the amazing deal you'll already get. And if you part exchange by selling us your car too, we'll give you another £500, making a total of £1,000, which is a lot of ice creams, suitcases, beach toys for the dog, or a nicer car to go on holiday in. Ends July the 14th. We are Vertu.